On today's Pardon My Take, we have a twofer for the people. We have JJ Spaun, fresh off his U.S. Open win, and then our good friend George Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers getting ready for TEU. We have a Stanley Cup champion. We're going to talk about the Panthers winning the Cup back-to-back years. The Thunder are also one win away from the NBA Finals. We have some inner podcast beef to squash after Max and Hank duked it out in the 3-on-3 BBA. We've got listener-submitted Pardon Your Takes, a great show, a packed show, and it's all brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. The NBA Finals are finally here. It's about to get wild. High-stakes drama, insane buzzer beaters, jaw-dropping dunks, and the excitement you live for. And guess what? DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is giving you a chance to boost your winnings every single game during the finals. That's right, every game, all finals long. DraftKings is rolling out a special NBA profit boost. So what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TAKE to claim your profit boost. That's right. Code TAKE gets you a boost for every single NBA Finals game. Don't miss your shot at big wins. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by DraftKings. What are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TAKE to claim your profit boost. That's right, code TAKE to get you a boost for every single NBA Finals game. Don't miss your shot at big wins. This is the moment you've been waiting for, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Today is Wednesday, June 18th, and the Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. An incredible last two games of the series where they absolutely dominated the Oilers, and just an incredible way to fit. They're the best team. There's not much. I mean, if you had to pick a second best team, PFT, it's probably the Toronto Maple Leafs because they took them to 7. So it was an exciting Stanley Cup final for the first 4 games, and then the Panthers were like, oh yeah, we're the best team. We're about to win back-to-back titles. And congrats to them.
So I was about to start the show by congratulating the Toronto Maple Leafs on being better than the Edmonton Oilers. Like, congrats to Biz. Biz was actually kind of right in his argument against Witt. It stinks for Oilers fans, but you got to put in your face. It's not like this was a close game. It's not like the end of the series closed out where you thought that you had a chance. This was an ass-kicking. They just kicked their asses. And then Reinhart, he had 4 goals tonight?
4 goals tonight. Sam Reinhart was awesome. Sam Bennett, the other Sam, won the Conn Smythe with 15 goals in the postseason, led the whole postseason, 22 points. But yeah, Sam Reinhart, 4 goals. But you're right. Like, this was not – these last 2 games were so clear that the Florida Panthers were the better team. And Bob, we said it with our previews with Yans, with Witt. We're like, Bob's going to get hot, and he's gonna get hot, and it's going to be lights out for the Panthers, and that's exactly what he did in these last 2 games. Tonight, I think he saw 29 shots, saved 28 of them. He is that dude in closeout games.
You can't go back to Skinner if you're the Oilers. We told you that a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
Cannot go back to him. I do feel bad for Oilers. I do. I feel bad for the entire country of Canada.
Yeah.
1993. It felt like this might be Canada's year.
Yeah, the memes I think just tweeted an American team has won the CFL Grey Cup in a more recent time than a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. So the Baltimore Stallions, I believe, in 1995 won the Grey Cup. I think they were only in the league for a year or 2, and it's been a shorter distance in time than the Canadian teams winning a Stanley Cup. It's tough. I do feel bad. I feel bad for the Oilers. I feel bad. Well, Connor McDavid can't win the big one.
We're going to just jump into it. Okay.
I don't know what to say. I feel bad for him. He's an incredible player, but as of right now, I'm just going on the facts that I see, has not won the big one.
Okay, so my plan was to just butter up Canada as a country real quick.
Okay.
And just be like, we feel bad for you. This was a great team. ultimately it was a combination of Ryan Whitney and your goaltending that let you down. It's not your fault, Canada, but also maybe your golden boy is looking like fool's gold.
Yeah, I mean it's not his fault. We're being a little tongue in cheek, but obviously this will be the prevailing story of can he win the big one, because he is the best player in the league and he hasn't won the big one. And for back-to-back years, the Florida Panthers, that's got to be the hardest part too, PFD. If you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, Connor McDavid's the best player in the league. You have all this tradition. You have the Stanley Cup years with Gretzky and Messier, and then you have a team in Florida who is just dominant. Like, the Florida Panthers deserve all the credit for putting together an absolute beast of a team, and the way they've won back-to-back Stanley Cups, they're awesome.
Not just Florida, like the dirtiest part of Florida.
Yeah.
Like the farthest part away from you part of Florida, where the team is located outside the city. They basically built a town around a barn. And they're like, we hope that we can get people to come out here. And then they built a good team, so they do have a fan base now, yes. But to lose to Miami, that stinks.
Yeah,
that stinks real bad. But yeah, they were a dominant team, and I think anybody that watched these playoffs, you can't say anything besides the fact that was the best team. They deserve it.
Yeah, they set a Stanley Cup final record, surpassing the 1987 Oilers with most minutes in a Stanley Cup final leading. So they led for 255 minutes in the Stanley Cup final, because it was, the Oilers wins. You had that crazy game where they score late and then overtime wins. And so it's just the Panthers were the better team. That they're a built wagon. They had 3 guys score 5+ goals in the Stanley Cup final, which they're the only second team in the NHL history to do that. Reinhart had 7, Marchand had 6, Sam Bennett had 5. They're awesome. And it's got to hurt the hockey-loving Canadians to be like, this team, and I know obviously there's a lot of Canadians on Brad Marchand's from Canada, but still, it's got to hurt.
I think there's 3 people you can blame if you're trying to figure out how to cope. Number 1 is just the entire state of Florida for having no state income tax. So you can go to that one. You can blame the Boston Bruins. And then you can blame the city of Philadelphia for letting Bob go down there. So you've got some scapegoats.
Yeah, you got some scapegoats for sure. Absolutely. And you can blame Toronto for not taking care of the Panthers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a great one that you can do.
Yeah.
I think that McDavid he's got to win one eventually. But we have no choice but to ask if he's incapable of winning the big one now.
Right.
We didn't want to. We didn't want to have this conversation.
And I'm not trying to do insult stats, but he's the only captain who's lost in back-to-back Cup finals in the last 50 years.
It's hard to get there twice.
It's hard to get there twice. I don't want to do these. Let's talk about how awesome the Panthers are.
Okay, let's talk about Marchand and how I don't think I realized how great he was until these playoffs, which sounds stupid because obviously he's had a great career for Boston, but something about seeing a guy who's been really, really good for a long time do the exact same stuff that he's always done, just in a different uniform, makes it mean like a little bit more. Like he stands out a little bit more to me.
Well, yeah, he's 37 years old and you're like, oh, what are you going to get from him? Is he at the tail end? And then, oh yeah, you're going to get one of the best players on the ice for the entire Stanley Cup final and an absolute beast who just has a knack for the big moment. And you're right. Like I think a lot of people were like, he's incredible, but like this takes him another level to win it with another team and do it in such an impressive fashion where it's like he had his fingerprints all over this series.
Yeah. On the third line too.
Yeah. Also, credit to Paul Maurice, very good coach, Florida Panthers. I think the stat is he coached for 25 years in the NHL without winning anything and now has won back-to-back. Pretty awesome. They, be a little patient. Patience works.
Should we be upset with Evander Kane for skipping the handshake line?
Ooh, I'm gonna say yes. That's bullshit. How can you do that?
I get it. At the end of the Stanley Cup Finals,
that's exactly when you need to do the handshake line.
Yeah,
PFT.
But I get it.
You know that. I know that.
But imagine it's you.
Yeah, no, I'd be so pissed. I would just probably say fuck you under my breath to everyone in the handshake line.
Yeah, I'd leave. I'd just walk out of the arena, get in my car immediately.
I'd pretend my like right hand was broken and have to do like the sad paw, like people having to reach across and make it really awkward for everyone. She'd be like, well, I did the handshake line. What do you want from me?
Yeah, he's got no guts. That's an upper body injury from you. That's why me and you aren't in the Stanley Cup Finals. Is because we wouldn't do the handshake line.
That's true. We should also say, and we're not looking for credit, but we would have gone to Game 7 in Edmonton with Ryan Whitney. So we basically, Whitney, I believe, if we're doing a score counter, he now owes us something.
Yeah. So a little peek behind the curtain. I'm out of studio right now because I'm at a lake house in Michigan that I planned on doing this like 5 months ago. Got this lake house for the week into the weekend. By the way, Michigan, awesome state, a lot of weed dispensaries, kind of crazy. And I said, I'm not going to be here this weekend. I canceled my lease, the week-long lease on the lake house, because I was like, I'm going to go to Edmonton this weekend. And then I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow because I'm out of this house. I'm self-evicted. So, I mean, credit to us for saying, hey, Whit, you've done a lot for this program. We're willing to put our nuts on the line for you. But unfortunately, it just can't happen.
I had a phone call with Ryan Whitney this morning, planning it out, being like, hey, if Edmonton wins this game tonight, we got to act quick. We got to get this flight. We got to get it give me the names right now. We got to be ready to go. It was being planned. And again, I do think he owes us something now. I don't know what. We're going to have to figure it out, Hank. He owes us something. Don't you agree?
Definitely.
Because you would have gone.
I would have went.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Max, you would have gone, right? Max is actually really pumped to go. Really pumped.
I think Whitney should have to dye his hair.
Yeah. It does feel good to it would have been cool to go to I'm not complaining about having a chance to go to a Game 7. It would have been pretty sick. But in terms of all-time cancellation of hey, you don't have to go to Edmonton, it felt good. It felt really good. I'll be honest. It felt really, really good.
Not me. I'm upset.
Yeah.
I would love to go up there.
You're so upset from your lake house in Michigan.
It's a bummer. Hey, Hank, fun fact about Michigan. I'm learning all sorts of stuff about Michigan. You know, Michigan has the most lighthouses of any state in the United States.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. There's one right down the street. I'll take a picture of it. You know what the state bird of Michigan is? The mosquito.
Oh.
Yeah.
Triple E.
Not even a bird.
No, it's a joke that every state says about their own state.
Oh. I'm watching right now. They're taking a picture with God damn it, the Stanley Cup winning that. It's got to be the best feeling in the world. Just being we're just going to get so fucked up with the boys. They do.
Marshy's holding up the two. Buddy, you weren't there last year.
Stanley Cup. I will say this about the Stanley Cup. It does feel like the number one, the team parties for as long as possible together. I think a lot of the other sports, the team kind of fractures pretty quickly. This one, it's you'll just see all of the Panthers partying for the next 4 days, all of them together.
And sometimes longer than that. That's what makes it so impressive that you're a repeat champion is you win the Stanley Cup and you go on a bender for about a month and a half. You're just getting fucked up left and right like you're a freshman in college. And then you go back, and after a summer of utter debauchery, you're able to somehow get back to that elite level. I think that might be the hardest sport to repeat in.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, here we go. Breaking news. Matthew Tkachuk says he tore the abductor off the bone and was dealing with a hernia on the same side of his body. Wasn't sure if he'd be able to play to start these playoffs. Tkachuk says grinding through all that makes the Stanley Cup more rewarding. I love the hockey injuries after because they are it's kind of the opposite of LeBron getting bounced and being I would have been out 3 to 5 weeks. These guys are playing with horrific injuries and they don't say a word, and then after they get a microphone in their face, they're like, yeah, actually my leg's been broken for 4 months, and but it's the cup, dude.
Yeah, thank God the series is over because I get to go to the hospital now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check myself in. But when you say the way that you phrased his injury, though, it sounds kind of delicious, low key.
Yeah.
Say it again.
He tore the abductor off the bone. That is delicious.
That sounds tasty.
Yeah, there'll be a Panther or Oiler be like, yeah, my doctor told me if it goes 7, I'll probably die, but it's the cup. Mm-hmm. So
got to go out there for the boys.
Yeah. All right, I had one other thing before we kick it to ourselves in studio for the rest of the show. I'm starting to think that some of the women in the WNBA don't like Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I think so.
That's all I got.
Did she get fish hooked tonight, or was it just a slap in the face? Did she get bitch slapped?
She got rabbit punched and then chest bumped. Yeah, I think they don't like her. I don't know. I'm just getting that vibe. Maybe we got to wait and see, but I'm starting to think they don't like her.
When all this shit started to go down last year, I thought that this is actually a great opportunity for somebody that's like into the bench player on the Fever, become the Caitlin Clark defender.
Yeah.
Like, forget about working on your game. Just get in the gym. Just start learning boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, whatever, and then just be an enforcer. Be the Charles Oakley. So there's an opening right now for Charles Oakley to Caitlin Clark's Michael Jordan that just goes out there and beats the shit out of girls that try to go at Caitlin.
Yeah, just be friend for life.
Yeah, be your best friend for life and eat a couple technicals every now and again, get kicked out of a few games. Not only will it be good for your just career like on the roster, but I mean, there'll be marketing opportunities too.
Yeah.
You're just like, you'll be known as her bodyguard.
Yeah, it's a great point. Oh, I totally forgot. Congrats, Zach. Are you a Panthers fan?
It would be stolen valor to say Panthers fan specifically, but state of Florida, love to see them bring the Stanley Cup home.
Oh, okay, love that.
It's coming home.
Congrats to the state of Florida. The state of Florida's won 4 out of the last 5 cups. Is that not right? I believe so.
They could be way up.
Yeah. Lightning, what is it? It's 2 Lightning, 2 Panthers, and then an Avalanche mixed in? Is that right, Means? Yeah. Yeah.
All in the South.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so congrats, state of hockey.
Congrats to Brooks.
Congrats to Brooks. Yeah, he was there. He was looking like he was having fun.
Yeah.
Great night. And Marlins, man. Congrats to Marlins, man.
I'm not going to say that.
I will. He just kept on texting me throughout the game being like, wish you were here. What is this? Oh, there's video. Play is crazy loud. Wish you were here. And it's just a picture of him with a chick and then a picture of him with the Panther mascot. So, didn't make any inappropriate comments about your mom.
Is the what's the picture of the day? The picture contest winner.
I don't know. Should I play the video he sent? This is. Oh, that's just a live. All right, wait, hold on. Let me replay this. If anyone's wondering if it was loud at the game tonight to win the Stanley Cup trophy, here's our live reporter Marlins man. Hear that, PFT?
It sounds pretty loud.
It's really loud. Let me just go and see if he maybe says something at the end. Oh, wow. That is loud. That was loud. Confirmed loud.
Mm-hmm. Confirmed.
Confirmed loud.
Loud barn.
Okay. Let's kick it to ourselves. We got a lot of great show. Hank versus Max. We have some NBA Finals talk. We have JJ Spaun, George Kittle. Pardon your take. Back in studio all together. Okay, we're back in studio and brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Baseball is back. There's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. Plus, the Game Time Picks feature makes it even easier to find the great deals on the seats you want. Just pull up your chosen event and turn on the GT Picks setting at the top of the screen or browse the best local Game Time Picks deal near you on your Game Time app homepage. Cubs are home this week.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Playing Brewers, Chris and Yelich.
And the Mariners, yeah.
You want to go see Chris and Yelich hit a bomb at Wrigley? You can watch for as cheap as $46 on the Game Time app.
Okay, so go right now. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jack. What are you waiting for? Go buy those Cubs Brewers tickets now with Game Time Picks and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. If you haven't used Game Time, we just got those Cubs tickets, $26. So use it right now. Use code PMT, $20 off. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code PMT for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. Okay, boys, the Oklahoma City Thunder are 1 win away from the NBA title, and that was the J-Dub game.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams
incredible,
was
40.
Yeah, 40 points. Second most in Thunder history in the finals. I think it was Russell Westbrook had 43 back in the 2010 finals. That was an awesome game from him. And that was exactly like, this is why the Thunder are so scary. SGA is the MVP. He's 26 years old. Chet is 23 years old. J-Dub is 24 years old. And he's had moments in these playoffs where it's like one great game, one game where he kind of isn't there. And that's the progression of a young player. But on Monday night, He was there, and he was phenomenal.
Is that the most points ever scored by a guy that was drafted third in the same year by his own team? Like he was their third pick when they took him.
That's a good question.
In the NBA Finals. I think it might be. It was a great game on his part. SGA also wasn't bad.
No, SGA was great, but it was like a J-Dub show.
So I think we should think about having the conversation Batman Robin.
Yeah.
Last night he was Batman.
Yeah, and it was obviously this is the NBA Finals. You have to win these games. The Pacers, there's no moral victories. I was kind of not shocked, but like the way they fought, I thought the game was over at halftime. Tyrese Halliburton's hurt. He had 0 field goals made. Stephen A. Smith said he was happy he was hurt. He corrected it a little. He's like, I'm happy. I know that he's hurt because he's sucking tonight.
I think Stephen A. Smith was happy he was hurt so that he could play solitaire instead of having to watch the game.
Yes, but it was the Pacers were right there. It was that sequence. I think it was like 9 minutes left. It was 95-93, and the Thunder got an offensive rebound. J-Dub hit a three, and then I believe it was Casey Wallace got a steal and a dunk, and it was like, oh, now it's back to a 7-point game. And outside of, Tyrese Halliburton was bad. He's injured. Remember, he had a leg thing that Shams reported 2 games ago. So it seems like he might have aggravated the leg thing. I feel like Rick Carlisle, I don't know. Maybe this is just one of those situations where he obviously knows his players better than anyone else, but TJ McConnell was a problem. The Thunder did not know what to do with him, and he should have kept with him. The question that I have for everyone else is TJ McConnell one of those guys that you can't play him that much because all he does is go 100% all the time?
I think a fair question would be like, should we play TJ McConnell all the time because he is great at surprising you with how good he is?
Yeah.
So if he's playing all the time, can you even be surprised that he's still cooking? The Pacers were definitely better when TJ McConnell was in last night. And every time it got close, it was because TJ McConnell was out there doing his Indiana Deli thing where he kind of does like the well-placed spin moves, gets away from guys, plays extremely hard. You got to ask the question, should Carlisle be yanking guys? I think he's got to start yanking guys. I think that, like, Halliburton, yes, he is your best player. The offense goes through him, and when it goes through him, the offense is incredible to watch. But when he's limited, then it becomes now you rely on guys who don't create their own shots. You rely on them having to create their own shots more. It doesn't work out as well.
Yeah, you need TJ McConnell. And I just don't. I think TJ McConnell is one of those guys that you can't play him 35 minutes because then you lose the TJ McConnell. Because every single time TJ McConnell, he'll sprint down the court with the ball, go into the lane, either shoot or make a decision to get someone else a shot. They score, and then he's sprinting trying to steal the ball in the inbounds.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't – part of why he works is that he never, ever lets up. And I don't know how much gas he has in it. I also thought Siakam only playing 33 minutes. Siakam was the Thunder had no answer for Siakam either.
I think that you should play TJ. If Halliburton's going to continue to be hurt, you play TJ at home. You give him heavy minutes at home.
Gotta let him.
You let him feed off that crown. There was one point, I think it was either Holmgren or maybe Hartenstein, but he got fouled by TJ. Got fouled pretty hard, and then he turned around and he was like, "It was an honor to be fouled by you, sir." And they dapped each other up. It was like that. I appreciate you going balls out, but that was also great crowd game for Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Great crowd game.
Oh, the stripe out?
Yeah, the stripe out was awesome. They didn't sit down for the entire game. It was loud as fuck. Even at one point, like when things weren't going well for the Oklahoma City Thunder, the crowd just never stopped chanting OKC.
Yeah.
Even when like most crowds would be like, "Oh fuck, the Pacers are about to do their Pacer thing."
Yeah, Loud City, right? Is that what they were calling it?
Loud City.
I think
like
they were
that.
calling it Loud City. They had Red Panda at halftime. They showed the intros before the game. Which again, bullying works. At some point, Adam Silver has to stand up to the internet. Like we just bully him left and right.
Yeah,
we just complain about something. He's like, yeah, you know what? We'll make that fix.
Roger Goodell would never change a single thing ever.
He
would just make it worse, probably.
If he did, we would have the throat slash back.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make the NBA Finals logo on the court slipperier.
Yeah. So the Thunder. Do we think they close it out in 6?
I think statistically, if you're just going based off history, it's like 80%. But then you add in the fact that Halliburton is not healthy right now.
That's the part where I'm like, because if Halliburton was 100%, I would have the Pacers in Game 6. I would think this is going 7. Either way, this has been a phenomenal series. Like, that was a great game. It was a 2-point game with 9 minutes left, and it was it just fun basketball being played.
So before the game, did you see the clip of SGA signing autographs?
No.
He signed 429 autographs before the game. He signed autographs for everybody that brought him something to sign.
And there was someone was videoing the whole thing?
And then Darren Ravel was like, okay, I'm out of merchandise, so let somebody else try. Somebody videoed the entire thing. If you're the Indiana Pacers, if I were you guys, I would show up. I would bring like 20,000 people wearing Thunder jerseys to the arena and have SGA try to sign 20,000 autographs before the game.
Yeah.
Tire his foul shooting handout.
You just need, this is actually a crazy video.
What a guy. It's nuts, right?
What a guy. I mean, at some point, your hand has to get tired.
It's the most Canadian thing ever.
You're playing in an NBA Finals game. This is incredible. What a guy.
Here you go. Here's your autograph. Okay, now have a great day. Take care.
Oh, you want another one? You want another signature?
Yeah, when we were talking about SGA's great voice,
yeah,
it's actually just super Canadian.
I
put the old John Hancock.
I don't like it. I think his voice is too deep. I've said this. I think he's got the voice of a 7-footer.
I think we should just pretend that he's got like a Canadian hockey voice.
Yeah, that would work. Every time he talks, I'm like, that guy's not 7 feet. He's 6'6". So you guys think it's over?
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you've said it's over.
Yeah.
After every game.
I think it might be over.
The Pacers have had 2 golden opportunities the last 2 games that they've kind of squandered.
You know what? You know what though? Every single time, this is the first time that the Pacers have been trailing in a series all playoffs, which is kind of crazy.
True.
I think the Pacers are going to figure out how to win one at home. I don't know how. I think maybe we get a TJ McConnell game. I think we just send him out there and we're going to empty TJ's personal tank on this one.
That was the game to do it though. They had the momentum with them. I agree you can't do it all the time, but if Halliburton's out and he was clearly the spark,
he was
they should have died with him last night and they didn't.
The Thunder's defense,
it shouldn't have been a question of should we have played him or not.
The Thunder's defense is incredible, and TJ McConnell was ripping them up.
Yeah,
they had no answer,
and they took him out for the last 6 or whatever the crucial 6 minutes when they lost the game.
Yeah,
they turned the ball over 7 times in a row.
I think that if we're going off the series I've mentioned many times, because it actually is now, we're 5 games through and it's almost identical to the Nuggets Thunder series. It would be the Pacers winning Game 6 and then the Thunder winning in 7. I'd love for it to go 7.
It's just that every time we count the Pacers out, they manage to do something crazy.
Yeah, although I think the Thunder are going to win this series.
I think so too.
I guess that's ultimate counting them out, right?
I think so too, and I have no reason to believe that they're going to win Game 6, but I somehow do. You know, I've seen it enough from them where they can figure out a way to do it. Rick Carlisle is a great coach.
Yeah,
he's one of the best coaches in the league, and he has been for a long time. They're going to figure out some weird thing, I think.
TJ McConnell, you can't guard me with the spin moves. You have to guard me. What TJ McConnell yelled at the Oklahoma City Thunder after he hit a wide open 3. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
He also is, I know because of his height and maybe his complexion, people are like, oh, TJ McConnell, how's he doing? He is super athletic.
Yeah.
He's so fast.
Well, it's tricky because he's literally coach's son.
Yeah, and he's so shifty.
So you can start being like, yeah, look at this guy, sneaky athletic, coach's son, grit, fundamentally sound, student of the game. You can do all those. But he's also insanely. If TJ McConnell was Australian, I think people would put a little bit more respect on his name.
Yeah.
If he had an exotic accent.
I walked away from that game being like, holy shit, the Thunder are what we've said all along. Is this going to be their worst dynasty? Is this going to be their worst championship in the dynasty? Because Jalen Williams taking that next step in an NBA Finals game, it's crazy how if they have SGA and Jalen Williams doing this and Chet maybe putting on 15 pounds. I don't know how. And it's just so many guys. Caruso leads the NBA Finals all time in steals off the bench. That's just what they do. They bring it. They're like, you think this is a problem? Watch this pit bull come in and just fucking harass the shit out of everyone.
And last night was when they really looked like a historic defense.
Yeah.
They've had moments before, and certainly the regular season and in the playoffs, they've had incredible. This was their signature game in the finals in terms of putting their defense out there. I know that in sports,
end of Game 4 too was incredible.
We have to talk about everything that it's historic.
Yeah,
and they did have a historic regular season. Their defense was was great. But when you talk about like the best of all time defense, I get a little annoyed when I hear that.
Yeah.
Because you think of some great, like, as far as the Pistons, when they had the gentleman's sweep, that to me is the best defense of all time.
Yeah, I mean, some of the Bulls dynasty years were insane defenses. It's a different league now.
Yeah.
It's a different league. Okay. Do we want to do hot seat, chill throne? And then we'll get to our interviews. We got JJ Spaun, U.S. Open champion, and George Kittle, our good friend. Hey, yeah, put on these shirts. PFT, you got one?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, boys. Let's hot seat, chill. We got a lot to get to in a hot seat, chill throne. A lot of different sports. All right, hot seat, chill throne. Hot seat, chill throne. You're seeing us put on these shirts right now. Brought to you by Body Armor. This segment is brought to you by Body Armor Sports Drink. This summer, cool off with Body Armor Chill, a bold new way to hydrate with no artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners. Enjoy a new, refreshing, cooling sensation in 3 impossibly cold flavors: frozen berry, frozen cherry, and frozen orange. With Body Armor Chill, available for a limited time. Grab yours at 7-Eleven or a store near you. Wow, we look good. We look good, boys. Hot seat, chill throne. Hank. He's buttoning. He's buttoning.
Yeah, my hot seat is myself.
Oh, shit. Why?
We alluded to it last week on the show, but the video is out. The Barstool Basketball League Association game, State Farm. It was my team versus Max's team. Mm-hmm. I would say Vegas had us at like a minus 300 going into the game. We were probably heavily favored.
More than that, yeah.
Way more than that.
Way more than that.
Who's on your team?
My team was me, Dana Beers, Danny
double-double
Conrad,
in high school?
and
Danny
Ella
Beers?
Griff.
Okay.
And who was on Max's team?
Max's team was Max, the Wonton Don, Stephanie, and Spider.
Okay.
Okay. And so, yeah, I would say you guys were the 1 seed. They were the 8 seed in this tournament. By the way, just it hurt me. This took place 2 weeks ago. It hurt me that we had to sit on this because all I wanted to do was get Max hit a game winner in Hank's eye.
Nope, not in my eye. False.
You were on the court.
I was on the court.
Did you see it?
No.
Yeah.
I was looking.
Yeah, you did. You saw
I was
it.
boxing out.
Dana.
Oh, it's stolen by Max. Max for the win from the State Farm. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Max got a game.
Max hit a game winner in Hank's eye, and we had to sit there and not talk about it for 2 weeks when all I wanted to do was talk about it because my boy Max, he is him. He is built different.
He double dribbled, but it was a good shot. It was clutch.
So I watched the replay of the alleged double dribble. It was identical to when Steph Curry does that thing where he pretends to put his hand on the ball and keeps dribbling to make somebody bite on a fake. When he does it, it's like, oh, this is witchcraft. We've never seen a player with handles like this before. When Max does it, you try to become a deputized official at home, and it's disrespectful to Max's game because that was a sick move that he put on it.
Yeah.
I'm actually honored because that's just unbelievable loser talk from everyone trying to say double dribble.
It is loser talk.
It's big
it
time.
Is loser
so
talk.
just so people who didn't watch, go watch because we got a bunch of games coming up. PFT and I are on the same team.
It's great basketball.
Great basketball.
The BBL?
The BBL.
Nope.
The BBL Drizzy?
BBA. So it's games to 11, not win by 2. Hank's team was up 10-6. All they needed was a bucket. It's not make it take it either. So if Max's team scores a bucket, Hank's team gets it. They have Dana. They have Hank. Basically a professional basketball team.
I had a free throw to win, too.
Hank went 0 for 1 from the line. He went 0 for 8 from 3.
Kept shooting.
We're looking at the
Did you
box
see the
score
box?
right
Did
now.
you see that data?
I saw the box score.
Yeah.
No, Yugs Bunny did, not Dana.
Right.
Yugs
Bunny.
3 for 12 from the field. 3 turnovers, costly turnovers.
Costly. Really bad turnovers.
What happened with 0 for 8 from the 3? Because a lot of those you were not guarded at all.
Yeah, I went over 8 from 3. I did not make one. I missed 8.
And Max is not Max. What would you say? Basketball's like your 10th best sport.
Yeah, it's not one of my best sports. I'd like to say that I can compete out there, but
You filled up the stat sheet, though.
Yeah, no,
you were efficient game. 3 for 6. And you were, 1 for 2 from 3?
3 for 6,
50%
10
from
boards,
10
1
boards.
for 2 from 3. That's
Can I throw a spin zone for our guy Hank?
yeah.
right.
He needs one bad.
All right, here's the spin zone. All right, so yeah, the game sucked. Max hit a game-winning 3 in your eye. Max barely plays basketball. You play and train basketball all the time. Were you not trying to dunk? Were you not trying to dunk? You were training basketball.
That's literally training basketball. You spent a year training basketball.
Not a year.
You trained basketball.
Okay, you're right.
So you train basketball. Max, it's not even. He doesn't even think of it as like if you're like, hey, give us your best sports. It's like,
yep.
He's got to take off his shoes to count to the basketball and socks. But the spin zone is, Hank, at least during this game, you didn't basically beat up a girl.
That wasn't me.
Oh, wait, yeah, you did. Yeah, you kind of did.
You ran her over.
You ran her over.
I blocked her.
Did she block you?
No.
Oh.
Did you step over?
No.
I thought that there was you blocked her and then you
And then
also
I tried to hold her up from falling, and then she fell, and then I tried to pick her up, and she was like, "Don't ever fucking touch me again."
I love that.
That was amazing.
That was great. You shoved her to the ground.
Shout out to
I
Steph.
did not shove her to the ground. Dana Beers almost. Max knocked Ella Griff through Earth's core.
That's not true.
She bounced there's still a dent, and there's a dent in the court
was a
from
flop.
how hard she hit the ground.
Flop.
I was going up for
Max's
a rebound.
stomach hit her fucking head, and she got a concussion.
She tried to get in the paint.
It was such a great game. I'm so happy for you, Max. The whole crowd was rooting for you.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I cannot stress the upset this was, and the people at home, they have no idea the upset that happened on this court. Like Dana and Hank were both looked at as two of the best players in the entire league. Big Cat was like calling protests to the whole thing because somehow they got on the same team.
Jerry drafted Max 1 overall,
second overall
because
for vibes.
Yeah, for vibes, and.
Then there ended up being trades.
Yeah.
My team was literally tanking. My team was literally tanking against the team that the rest of the entire tournament was upset that they somehow got together.
We were like, this team is the best team because the way the draft went down, it's like, how did Dana fall to 3? Because Jerry took Max second. Wow. In your eye.
Hank, how did you feel about the entire office rooting against you?
I'm used to that. Everyone here hates me.
I love you.
It was bad. There was nothing. It was such a bad choke. I had a free throw to literally win the game. I
forgot about that. Yeah.
I completely mentally checked out. I was like, this is a formality. We're gonna score. It's not if, it's when. This game is over. Mm-hmm. I counted my chickens before they hatched. Max, double dribbled, didn't get the call. Smart play.
Loser talk.
It was a clutch shot. I'm very happy it wasn't in my eye.
Yeah,
that
it
would
was.
have been
Your eye was open.
so much worse.
I do have a real spin zone for you. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Tough couple days for you. Max hitting a game winner in your eye. You falling asleep during the U.S. Open.
I never talk about naps again, by the way. Like, never. You're banned from talking about naps.
Are we big nap talking guys?
Every fucking golf tournament of all time, it's like, I can't wait for Sunday to take my nap. That's
it's usually Saturday.
That's every podcast you guys have ever done.
I don't think that we've.
Yeah, I just didn't realize there was so many strict rules and regulations.
It's not a rule and regulations.
You're also the golf guy.
Yeah, you're a golf expert.
Yeah.
We don't take naps during NFL games.
Okay.
All right. So
what if there's rain delays?
Can I get to my spin zone?
Sure.
They don't rain delay NFL games.
So you've had a tough couple days. PFC and I have decided to get you a tee time and a flight to Pebble Beach.
Wow.
So we're going to send you to Pebble Beach this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And we talked to your dad. He's going to come too. We paid for him as well.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, that's pretty nice of us, right?
Trip of a lifetime. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we wanted you to have a nice trip. So we paid all expenses paid. Pebble Beach.
Juneteenth.
Hank does Pebble Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank
you
guys.
excited?
I'm so excited.
Can you do it? Can you drop
I'm
everything and
fired
go?
up. Yeah, I'll have to check some things, but I think I can.
You leave
make
at
that
7
work.
a.m. tomorrow morning.
I hope that's okay. We had to move around a lot of stuff.
Thank you guys.
Called in all the favors that we had.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My day has turned around.
Yep.
And then next week, you're going to love this too. Next week, we're going to have you playing in the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Wow.
We created a
got you
whole
in.
golf tournament just for you.
Yeah, it was going to be, there was some talk about who was going to get to play, who wasn't going to get to play, and we said, sorry, Francis, you're out. Hank's in.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So a lot of golf.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Do you
It's
want to
gonna
say
be
thank you to us?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Can't be mad at us anymore.
No, I never was.
Well, you're mad at us about
I've
the
been
nap
mad.
stuff, and you were mad about Max hitting it in your eye.
Yeah. And then also, I know that you wanted to be in the dozen this week, but we took care of that. You're not going to play.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so no trivia, and you get to golf.
Wow.
Pebble Beach.
That's a dream.
You're going to Pebble Beach, buddy.
That's a dream. I will say it is being 32 now, it's like I used to be irrationally confident about my athletic abilities, and it bothered me when I'm bad. I don't really care as much anymore. Like I've just accepted being like, it's like I wanted to get more mad at myself, but it's like, yeah, I'm 32. I might just be an absolute joke of an athlete.
PFT and I were on the same team. We were the oldest team by far because Stephen Shea was on our team as well. So it's two 40-year-olds, and I think Stephen Shea is 39. We had the conversation before. We're like, hey, we want to win this thing, but we also need to not get injured.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, hypothetically, you guys might surprise me with a trip to Pebble, and like I can't, like, if I get injured for that, I will literally want to die.
Never live it down. Yeah. No, it is kind of liberating reaching that spot where you're okay with looking like an idiot trying to play sports, right? Where you're like, okay, yeah, I'm not as good as at one point I thought I could be.
And it's also like I just keep going back, like, hey, we're 40 and we're still out there doing it. We're competing. That deserves some credit. Like, just going out there and competing. 32, I mean, that's whatever. Pebble, you had to stay healthy for Pebble.
Do you think that thought crosses Aaron Rodgers' brain at all? Like, I just don't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like, who am I trying to impress?
Definitely.
I'm 41 years old. I just want to go out there and show the world that old guys can still get out on a field.
There should be a rule in like all sports. If you like a 40-year-old touchdown counts for an extra point.
Yeah.
It's like, also, how are you still doing it?
300-pound plus touchdown should be more.
Yep. Facts. Okay, your Chiltron.
Oh, wow, that was a long hot seat.
Yeah, well, these pictures are incredible. The choke.
He hit you with
was
the
that
choke.
Spider? He'd hit
Spider,
you with
PFT
the
is laughing, smiling as wide as I've ever seen him smile.
Where?
In the background.
Oh, was that me?
Oh, no, I tweeted one, too. There's one where you were closer.
Yeah, that's fake news.
You're really smiling.
I was real broken
I just kept on running around behind Max being like, he's him. My boy is him. Just an all-time result.
I was about to say it's not personal, Hank.
Oh, yeah. That smile's personal.
That's not me, though.
Yeah, I think that's
you.
That's you right
that's
in the back.
Me?
Yeah, that's a personal smile.
Let's zoom it. Computer
that's personal
enhance.
glee.
Enhance.
You're having the time of your life.
I mean, it was a great joke. I thought that I was on the other side. That could be me.
Yeah, that's you. And you're having the time of your life. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's as personal as it gets.
That was personal, yeah.
I just wanted to Hank, my happiness after was 1,000% personal.
Yeah, no, I know. And that's, I'm happy to provide a moment. It's like, the haters won this one. They've been winning a lot.
Well, it was just
Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach. I mean, you guys, that's unbelievable.
That's not so much personal. That's just me enjoying a historical moment.
The free throw was so bad.
Oh, so bad.
The free throw was so bad. It's all it took. And at that point, I was like, all right, let's just end it.
We moved on, Max. Let's just end
Chiltron. Honestly, we should have talked about it more because I've been waiting for 2 weeks to talk about this. Just
the turnovers are really what just.
Yeah, you had some bad ones. Really bad ones.
The free throw.
You just like dropped the ball one time.
0 for 8 from 3 is almost hard to do.
Yeah, how many?
Nah, that's not true.
No,
just keep watching. Keep tuning in and tell me if that's 0 for 8. It's going to be pretty fucking good when all things are said and done.
Did you at some point think maybe I should have worn more bracelets?
No, I probably should have taken the bracelets off.
Why did you have so many bracelets on?
I just had them on. I didn't take them off.
You look like you're about to do like the opening set at Bonnaroo. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's bad. It was a bad fit.
Has Billy Strings been getting in the way of your athletics?
I guess. I don't know. I'm just not athletic. It's over.
Yeah, it's a good thing you spent a year training for this moment.
Training basketball.
Okay, Chiltron.
My Chiltron's Joe Chestnut.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's back. He's officially, as of Monday, competing again in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
So good.
I feel like he committed to something else.
He was thinking. I thought
I saw a report like he was doing something in St. Louis.
Well, what I think
I think everyone got mad.
Yeah.
And then that must have.
We'll have him on before because he is the GOAT. We've said it before, but everyone should thank their lucky stars. They were alive at the same time as Joey Chestnut, the most dominant athlete of all time. I think he was setting up a competing event. And Nathan's probably blinked being like, fuck, everyone's going to watch Joey. I'm going to watch Joey. It's July 4th.
He released a statement yesterday saying that like he never lost his love for the dogs. He just entered into a partnership with a plant-based company last year.
Yeah.
And while he has continued that professional relationship, the hot dog competition means more to him.
Yeah.
So he's going to find a way to make it work this year. And guess what? He's going to smoke them.
Oh, he's going to put on a show.
He's going to smoke them.
I want to see an all-time record. It feels good. It feels like 4th of July. We missed the 4th of July. Now we're back.
It's gotten to the point where I would be disappointed if I don't get to see a record from Joey Chestnut.
I'd agree.
It's like Joey's not just taking on every other eater in the world. He's taking on history himself. And it is rare. It's like him, Usain Bolt. You could say this about both guys. When you're watching them compete.
Michael Phelps.
Maybe Michael Phelps. But when you're watching Joey Chestnut eat, he is the best eater, not just in the world. He is the best eater to ever live on planet Earth. Mm-hmm. Nobody has ever been able to eat like him. Nobody probably ever will. Like, out of the billions of people that have ever existed, he's top dog.
Yeah.
Mondo.
We could be so lucky
Mondo.
to see.
Mondo and Joey Chestnut. Mm-hmm. Two goats.
Yeah. All right, PFT, your hot seat, chill throne.
My hot seat was going to be Hank, but we already covered that a little bit. So my hot seat is Jay Monahan.
Oh.
The leader of the PGA Tour. Because he is stepping down. His contract's not being renewed at the end of this year. And instead, they're getting Brian Rolapp from the NFL. Brian Rolapp is going to step into golf. He was on the short list of people that were going to succeed Roger Goodell after he left. So this is a major coup by golf to get a top name. But I also read that don't count Brian Rolapp out bouncing back to the NFL after he's done straightening golf. So the wheels started to turn a little bit. What's the biggest challenge facing golf right now, Big Cat?
I would say getting everyone to play in one league.
Yes. So the blueprint that's in place.
Yes.
The framework that's in place. He's being brought in, I think, in large part to figure out that framework, make a deal so that Liv and PGA, they get back together after they announced like a year and a half ago that they were merging. And then for the NFL, one of the biggest problems they're having is you're running out of guys that can afford to buy NFL teams that don't already have an NFL team.
Yep.
One of the outlets for that could be allowing foreign investment funds in. He's going to go over to the PGA, figure out how to play nice with the Saudis, and then he's going to come back to the NFL in a few years and be like, okay, we're opening up the potential investors in NFL teams to foreign investment funds.
Like, hey, Saudis, come play ball with us in golf. Let me fix golf, and on the back end, I'll let you buy a franchise.
Yes, I'll let you.
The commissioner.
I'll let you own an NFL team. I'm going to introduce you to American sports. We're going to figure out how to navigate sports media without killing any of the journalists. Once you can prove that you're good at that, then we're going to bring you into the NFL.
I like it.
That's where I see this going eventually.
I also love that, like, commissioners of leagues, there's like a pool of like 10 guys that they pick from.
Yeah.
Like, there's, he's going to go to golf and go back to the NFL. It's like Gary Bettman started in the NBA, and then he was like third in command and then went to the NHL. It's like we only have so many guys we could pick from.
Yeah, I went to school to be commissioner.
Yeah.
And now I've got experience being a commissioner.
Right.
I think that being the CEO of the PGA Tour, probably a dream job.
I would say so.
I would say more of a dream job than being commissioner of the NFL. Commissioner of the NFL, dream salary.
Yeah,
you get paid
$40 million, $44 million
to just be a punching bag.
Yeah.
But if you're the CEO of the PGA Tour, you're hanging out on the course.
What about
all day.
dream job?
You actually also have power.
Yeah. What about dream job being the producer of the #1 sports podcast and getting a free trip to Pebble Beach?
By far, I mean that's just beyond a dream. Even
truly,
pretty unbelievable.
A free
trip to Pebble Beach. We booked the tee time. We did this like 2 months ago, thinking, you know what, if we play a basketball competition, Max will most likely hit a game-winning 3 in Hank's eye.
Mm-hmm. It was such a good moment. It was such a good moment. Go watch it if you haven't already.
Go watch it.
My cool throne is
chill throne.
Chill throne. My chill throne is Ping.
Oh.
College World Series.
Yeah.
Baseball bats.
Yes.
College World Series has been awesome. Shout out Gage Wood, an all-time name guy, pitcher for Arkansas. Struck out 19 people. 19. And he threw a no-hitter, right?
No-hitter.
Third no-hitter in the College World Series. I think he hit one guy, right? But besides that, it was a perfect game.
Yeah.
I actually think that if you throw 19 strikeouts and you hit one guy and throw a no-hitter, that is the perfect game.
I think they had an error as well.
Oh, they had an error,
before he hit a guy. But yeah, unbelievable. 19 strikeouts, awesome.
It's pretty incredible. And it was against Murray State.
Yep.
So
Racers.
Shout out to the Racers at Murray State. Cinderella runs over. They were an easy team to root for. Their coach cut the grass at the field.
Yep.
It was kind of cool to see them in it. But yeah, college baseball, and with the MLB and NIL, college baseball is way better than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because you got more guys playing college ball, making money there instead of going to play in the minor leagues. So the World Series has been great so far.
Yes, it has. It's been awesome. All right, my hot seat is Kevin Durant, because it came out that Kevin Durant's preferred trade destination was New York, but the Knicks didn't have the same level of interest. You can't let that get out. You can't let that get out.
I think James Dolan needed a dub.
Yeah, that was a
he
quick
was sick
dub.
of getting rejected, so we had to be like, oh, just FYI, Kevin Durant wants to play here, but we said no, we don't need you.
Yeah, and we also have the Shams body language experts out being like, did you see the look he gave when they mentioned the Spurs as a landing spot for Kevin Durant? So everyone thinks he's going to the Spurs.
I can't wait.
Shams being a little cheeky with it. He kind of looked at the camera, gave a little smile.
It looked like he said it to Shumpert before.
Yeah,
and then he was maybe mad. You were not supposed to say that.
Yeah, but he's he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, he looked right into the camera.
He told Shumpert, off the record, he's going to the Spurs. And then Shumpert's like, I think he's going to go to the Spurs.
Yeah.
and Shams was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's like, that's my scoop.
Yeah. Windhorse's hair is just, he's the best.
You see Windy watching the game on a laptop?
Love that.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Just grinding it out backstage.
Ball is life. All right, couple other Chiltrones. Quick. I actually the article came out about Devers being an asshole. What do you think, Hank?
I think that's just the ownership. I think it's a smear job. Yeah,
because it was
it's
a smear job. It was a total smear job.
It's a smear job.
He wouldn't take ground balls, Hank.
He wouldn't. When one of your rookie said he would play first base after Devers said he wouldn't, and then Devers got mad at him for being like, "Why would you say that? Why would you play first?"
I feel like there's some truth to both sides, but I feel like this is, the ownership has done this before, so it's hard to
smear job,
believe everything they're saying. You got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, Devers needs to get his smear job going the other way.
Let me ask you this, Hank. If the Mookie Betts thing hadn't happened, would you still be taking Devers' side in this?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah,
but now it's like a pattern.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's been a pattern.
Also, real quick, Angel Reese getting the copyright for Me Bounds. Kind of a cool move.
Yeah, I like it.
That's a making fun of yourself move.
Own it. Yeah.
Me Bounds is a great phrase. And then finally, my last Chiltron, MLB, doing it right. They're going back to the regular uniforms for the All-Star game, which I love.
Okay.
So they're not doing the weird everyone wears the same uniform. Everyone's wearing their home or road uniform, which I think is so much better.
They're wearing the same cap?
I don't know if they're wearing the same cap.
Logos, old school logos.
So these are every uniform. That's the home run derby uniform, and what the guys will be wearing during the home run derby. And then when they're actually playing the MLB All-Star game this year, they'll be playing their own. They'll be wearing their own jerseys, which I think is so much better.
Yeah,
they should put the league logos on the jerseys too.
You think so?
Yeah, those are great.
ALNL.
Yeah,
playing for league pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just a patch or something. It's kind of
it looks like they're wearing their own. They might be wearing their own hats.
I like that.
No, the National League. There's a National League logo and American League logo.
Yeah, the old school one.
Yeah.
That you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, but when I was in Milwaukee, all the Brewers, almost every single Brewer, when I walked by, said Christian Yelich is going to win the home run derby this year.
Yeah. You did, but it needs to be repeated because it needs to get me more scared.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. All right, Zach, your hot seat Chiltron.
I do have a hot seat Chiltron for you today, Big Cat. My hot seat today would be Arena Football League. Fat punter getting absolutely leveled.
Yes.
After his punt.
Crushed.
Destroyed.
But
almost.
not really crushed. He just fell really hard because he's fat.
I mean, they popped the top, helmet off, face down in the turf.
But I don't think he got hit that hard.
The big guys fall hard.
He falls really hard.
The gravity
he
just takes him.
kind of just got pushed, and then it destroyed him.
It was a blind side block. They threw a flag on it, right?
But it wasn't. That wasn't like a. Well, he got pushed by another fat, so the guy wasn't moving that fast.
Fat on fat crime.
Gotta keep your neck on a swivel.
I love this. They should just have an arena league with just 300-pounders only. Playing skill positions would be awesome. Okay, good hot seat. Chiltron?
I do have a Chiltron for you as well. Minicamp week for the Rams is coming up. They're going to Maui. I think that's a fantastic place to be this time of year. I believe the weather this week's going to be 80 and sunny.
Wow.
I don't like it.
It's soft, though.
I don't like it.
Stunning outside.
It's soft.
Don't you think that's soft?
Soft?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're going to Hawaii for minicamp? That seems like a lot of vacation, although minicamp's not it's not training camp.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of football put in on field at the
That's actually.
But also, you gotta think there's ATV tours. There's Sea Turtle tours.
That might, it might be a good move for future free agents.
Pina coladas, some tan.
If they do this every year.
This is kind of like our version of the Greenbrier in West Virginia. Just absolutely no distractions.
I mean, they look like they're having the best time ever.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. Soft.
Morale's at all-time high here, though.
Soft
Team
move.
bonding, get the boys together.
That's not grit. That's not football.
Here's the thing.
That's on the field. This is off field.
I fully acknowledge the fact that OTAs are not that useful. You go out there, you meet your teammates, you do a little bit of work. It doesn't need to be held like hell in a cell where you're kept in prison while you do OTAs. But also at the same time, I see this and I'm like, that's not old school football.
Could you, Zach, let me throw this out there. Imagine this podcast, football podcast, first and foremost. We have Grit Week. We that's what we do. Imagine if we did a chill week where we just hung out and golfed and hung out in California somewhere and swam and boated and stuff.
I think that's great balance.
Be great for vibes.
Fantastic balance.
All right, you know what's that? Good idea. Let's do chill week this year. Good idea. Let's do it.
Chill week, great call.
Hank, we got you another gift.
No way.
Yeah. Chill week in
Oh,
Tahoe.
my God.
Yeah.
You liked Lake Tahoe last year?
We're going to do it.
More golf?
It's for you. It's for you.
More golf.
Right after the Ryder Cup?
Here's
And
another
a lake.
thing. Here's another thing, Hank. You are going to get to compete in a long drive competition.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exciting.
Incredible.
And
That's exciting. Another opportunity.
You're
Yep.
going to be competing against a guy that has been told by his swing coach to not hit driver at all.
Oh.
In
False.
preparation for it.
That's not what we said. Well, what did we say?
Driver is a reward.
Yeah.
Driver's reward.
Yeah,
That's
I get to hit driver if I hit every other club 20 times each.
It's like my giving my kids gummy worms.
Yep.
For after dinner.
Eat your dinner, and then you get dessert.
Yeah, I have to eat all my vegetables first. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good hot seat chill throne, boys. Let's do our interviews. We got JJ Spaun, U.S. Open champion, and then our good friend George Kittle talking a little football, and we'll finish with Pardon Your Take.
Before we get to JJ Spaun, he's brought to you by Experian. We're going to take a moment to talk about BFFs. Hank, who is your BFF on the pod?
I would have to go with the con man memes.
What? The con man?
Sweet. That's BFS, what I call him.
Oh.
Memes. Who's your BFF on the pod?
I'm going to go with Max.
Max, who's your BFF?
I'm going to go with my friend Hank.
Oh.
Wow.
Hank got one. Zach, who's your BFF on the pod?
That would be Big Cat.
Love that. Thank you,
Big
Zach.
Cat, who's your BFF on the pod?
I got two. It's Zach and also Hank.
Okay. My BFF on the pod is nobody because nobody picked me on this pod. There's one BFF who always looks out for you. Introducing your big financial friend, Experian. Experian has a bunch of legit ways to help you save. And get this, the Experian app lets you check your FICO score and a bunch more totally BFF things to help you manage your finances. Bet your other BFFs can't do all that, huh? Experian is here to support you in making smart financial decisions and maximizing your financial potential. Get started by downloading the Experian app at no cost. Let your big financial friend help you take control of your financial future. Get started by downloading the Experian app today. Download that Experian app today. It will be your BFF, even if nobody else is. And JJ Spawn is also brought to you by State Farm. In basketball, the great players don't just do it alone. They have teammates, coaches, and a solid support system behind them. It's kind of like insurance because, let's face it, a lot of us probably aren't great at doing that alone either. That's where State Farm comes in. State Farm is a teammate always ready to assist, help you find the coverage that you need, and help you recover from the unexpected. From fender benders to storm damage or even just a question about your policy, State Farm is there to help provide and assist when you need it. Through the State Farm mobile app, a network of 19,000 local agents, and online at statefarm.com. So don't just go at it alone. When you need help protecting what matters most, State Farm is there. State Farm with the assist. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state. And now here's JJ Spaun.
Okay, we now welcome on a very, very, very special guest. He is the U.S. Open champion, JJ Spaun. JJ, thank you for joining us. Let's start with how that feels to be called the U.S. Open champion. Has it fully set in yet? It's Tuesday morning. I assume the check hasn't cleared. It clears on Wednesdays. But has it set in that you are now forever a U.S. Open champion?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a little over 36 hours, I would say, to kind of let it all sink in. But kind of doing the whole media runs, waking up next to the trophy the last couple mornings, it's starting to sink in. But it's definitely surreal. Still got to pinch myself sometimes.
It's pretty great. So you're waking up next to the trophy. Are you sleeping with the trophy?
No, my wife would not allow that. She's the trophy, the real trophy. But,
That's a good answer.
Good answer.
Yeah, I know how that goes with wives, so I got to say the right things. But yeah, no, the trophy's been right there on the nightstand. Wake up next to it every morning, and it's something that you always dream of doing, having this wonderful trophy to kind of carry around and show off.
Yeah,
it is kind of cool. Like I know that when I got a new car, I would just sometimes walk away from the car and just like look at it in the parking lot. Do you just find yourself stopping in your house and just like looking at the trophy?
Oh yeah, like I'm just staring at all the names, looking at all the details. I mean, this trophy's 120 plus years old, so it's incredible to have it in my hands.
All right, so I have a question about the trophy. Then we want to talk about your final round at Oakmont. A mutual friend of ours tipped me off to this question, so it's a two-part question. The first is, how many Monster Energy drinks did you drink on Sunday before the final round? And then how many Monster Energy drinks fit into the trophy? I don't know if you can guess who the mutual friend is.
Jimmy Renner.
Yes, Jim Renner. Out of nowhere texted me this. He didn't even know we were having you on. He just texted me on Monday morning. He's like, "You have to ask JJ how many Monster Energy drinks he drank on Sunday." I was like, "Dude, we don't even have him scheduled yet," but he knew. So how many Monster Energy drinks?
Oh man, well, it's a funny story. I don't drink white can Monster Energy drinks like Renner does, but we were actually chatting about it. I think he could fit, what are they, tall boys? I think you could fit 4 in there. We know it fits about 8 IPA cans, the whatever 12, 16 ounces. So, but yeah, it's super funny. Renner, we have this story where we were traveling on the Corn Ferry tour together, back in 2016, and we were staying at the same hotel, so we shared a car ride to the course. It was like 5 a.m. We had early tea time. And he goes, in his Boston accent, he's like, "Yeah, I got to stop at the gas station, I was like, "All right, let's go get a coffee." I was thinking he's going to get coffee. Mm-hmm. Grabs an orange juice. I'm like, okay, good start. And then a white Monster. I'm like, "What are you doing? Like making a Monster mimosa or something?" He's like, "Nah, this is how I start my day." And so it's just been kind of like a funny inside joke, the white can Monsters. That's Renner's choice of drink.
So how many did you have on Sunday?
None. I was drinking beer.
Okay, but before the round, do you drink any Monsters before?
Oh heck no, I couldn't do that. I do coffee in the morning. I don't think the Monster Energy would really help the nerves and anxiety leading into the final round of a U.S. Open.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about nerves and anxiety. I'm sure you've been asked this, but do you think you win this tournament if there is no rain delay? Because it did feel. And you could tell us like how you felt to start the day. It felt like it was slipping. You had a little bad luck where it hits the flag stick. But then the rain delay happens, and when you come back from the rain delay, you were locked in and you were like ready to go. Do you think that time off got you to a reset point where you're like, all right, I can still win this thing?
Oh, 100%. When that horn blew, my caddy and I looked at each other. We kind of just said, this is exactly what we need. Kind of a little break to go back inside, reset, collect our thoughts, and kind of get a fresh start, kind of like a halftime, in any other sport, where you kind of regroup and come back out firing. So it actually, ironically, happened to me. The same thing happened at the Players earlier this year, where I had a close call where I lost in the playoff against Rory. Where Sunday I was going into the final round with a 1-shot lead and was kind of off to a slow start, lost the lead on the front nine, and then this weather came in and we had about a 3-hour delay and went back out and almost did the same thing, just started firing on all cylinders, clawed my way back to tie for the tournament after regulation. And, when that happened on Sunday at Oakmont, I kind of just went back to that experience. I'm like, okay, like you've done this before and capitalized on it. If it had been going the other way where I was starting off hot, maybe leading, and then the delay happened, it could have been a different story.
Yeah.
So what did you do during the rain delay?
I changed my clothes. I was like, I'm not wearing these clothes. I want to come out like feeling like nothing was carrying over from that first start to the restart, I guess you could say. So, changed everything. Even my cat. I mean, we got drenched, so it made sense to change clothes. We'd be sitting locker room freezing if we didn't. And yeah, we just chilled, had some lunch, and it was a pretty quick turnaround, about an hour and a half or so, and it was game on again.
Yeah. How did you feel about the course this week? I know that there were some complaints about the course. We respect the course at the U.S. Open. We like to watch professional golfers struggle the way that we struggle when we play golf. So it's kind of nice for us. But being out there and you having to play it, did you enjoy your rounds when you were actually playing, or were you like, I can't wait to get off this fucking thing?
No, I embraced it, and I think that's the mentality you have to have. Going into a U.S. Open. I mean, it's the toughest test in golf, and a lot of guys went to scout Oakmont early. People were asking me if I was going to do that, and I said, no, I'm not going to go there and start freaking out before I have to be there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go a month prior and be like, okay, I got to do this. I got to make sure this is right. I was just telling myself I'm going to go into the tournament week with the game that I had, and whether it would be good enough, we'll see. And I just took the course as it came. It's all you can really do. Everyone's going to hit bad shots. Everyone's going to get bad breaks. But I think kind of just staying in the moment and trying to take what the course gives you is the biggest thing you can do. And even when things weren't going great for me on front nine, I just tried my best to just stay patient and give what the course gave me. And it gave me the win.
Yeah, judo with the course. I like that.
So your final few holes, you hit some incredible shots. Obviously, the drive on 17 was that a drive of a lifetime? Was that the best drive you ever hit?
Probably. I mean, that would be a 10 out of 10. Given the situation, the scenario, what was on the line. But it was nice to. I actually hit a really good drive in the practice round that was almost identical to that. So I kind of just had that in the memory bank where, I've hit a great tee shot on this hole before. But it was huge in the respect that, going into 18, which was a fairway I only hit once, maybe twice all week, to kind of lean on that swing that I just put 6 minutes prior.
Yeah.
So it was a great kind of pathway to being able to still cap it off, because 18 is no cupcake, especially with a one-shot lead at the U.S. Open. And, the tee shot on 18 might have been, even a better tee shot than 17.
Oh, all right. So we had one other shot we wanted to discuss. Our golf expert, Hank, on our show said that he actually thought your approach shot on 15 was the shot of the tournament, where you get on, you hit a great shot. You were in the rough. I don't know what it was, 70 yards. Do you remember that shot?
Yeah. I hit it in the left rough off the tee, tried to lay up. The lie was okay, but it's so long and it's wet. It's been raining and you have no control over the face. The last thing I wanted to do on the angle of that pin and the way the green pitches is miss this left in the left rough, because then I'm dead. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to try to aim a little right. So it came out a little better than I want. Carried it too far into the rough, but that lie wasn't great either. And I could have easily brought in double bogey or worse. Mm-hmm. And to actually hit a really good shot out of there to about 15 feet or so and have a chance for par was great. I mean, I didn't make the putt, but I was able to limit the damage, and I don't think I made a double bogey all week.
Yeah, right. No, that's what U.S. Open golf is about. And our golf expert Hank was glued to the TV watching that one.
Yeah,
and it was very impressive.
He came in. We were like, "Oh, what about that drive on 17? What about that drive on 18? What about the putt on 18?" He was like, "No, the approach shot on 15. That was the one where it's the disasters you avoid."
I could agree with that. Yeah, because I could have made double or triple, and then it's over. I mean. Who knows what happens? Then I kind of really start unraveling, 16 through 18.
Yeah, I want to go back to the weather delay real quick. When you go into the clubhouse, did they have the TVs on? Were you guys able to watch Tiger Woods at the 2008 U.S. Open?
Yeah, we were watching. It was me, Scotty, Russell Henley, Ken Tackett, one of the rules officials. We were just there watching it and just laughing at all the crap he was pulling off, chipping in and Rocco, and looking at the clubs he's using. We're just kind of giggling at that. And it was a cool moment to kind of just relax. And, no matter how things were going on the course for me, it was a nice way to kind of let go of it and come out with a better attitude.
Yeah, you're like, at least this guy is not playing against me. I don't have to go out there and beat 2008 Tiger. I also heard that you got some advice from Tiger via Max Homa, who advised you to just stay there. Was what you said was his advice was, does Max get 10% of your purse? Was that $400,000?
Max is rich enough. He doesn't need my money. But no, it was a cool moment. This was probably a month or so ago. We're both members at Whisper Rock, and we were just eating lunch and talking about, how Tiger, relayed sort of the perspective on championship golf and what it takes to win, that you don't have to do anything crazy, that like everyone thinks that, he had to pull off these miraculous shots. He just did by nature because he's the GOAT. But, in a sense, like, you just got to stay there, don't feel like you have to do anything crazy. Just stay within attack or within shouting distance, and, anything can happen, especially at hard golf courses. And, that's kind of the perspective I had all week, leading up to the US Open was, no matter where you're at. I mean, look at John Rahm. I think he stuck around. He went off early and finished at 4 over. He even thought, I'm sure he was thinking the same thing going into Sunday. He's like, if I shoot 3 under par, I think he was starting the day at 7 over. He's like, I can shoot 4 over and end up maybe being in a playoff. And he did. And he's, that's a perfect example of just kind of staying there, letting the pack come back, especially at the U.S. Open.
Yeah. I got a couple questions about your past, which are a very interesting story. Obviously going, being pro for so long, going back to the Korn Ferry Tour, and then coming, climbing back up. But is it true that your mom, when she was pregnant with you, got permission from the doctor to keep golfing until she was 8 months? So is this like one of those situations where like pregnant women listen to like classical music to try to get so you just were born to play golf because your mom was like, I love golf so much, I'm going to golf 7 months pregnant, which is insane.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, that's a true story. There's this little par 3 executive course in South Pasadena, California called Arroyo Seco. And she would, her and my dad, that would be like her exercise on the weekend, would go play, walk 9 holes. She would play golf, and everyone, there she is with a big old pregnant belly, and everyone's like, that kid's going to be a golfer, because everyone's like, what the hell? Like, this lady's playing golf? How do you even swing, with this giant pot belly? But yeah, it was pretty crazy how it's all manifested. And, thanks to my parents to kind of give me the ability, and maybe I got my swing from, those motions in the womb,
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. And the other one was, how much credit do we give the car that hit you when you were 5 years old to get you to stop skateboarding? Because that feels like a sliding doors moment where your dad was like, no more skateboarding. You just got hit by a car. You might have been the next Tony Hawk instead of the U.S. Open champion.
Yeah, that freaked me out. That definitely kind of, scared me as, I definitely had scar tissue on what I was trying to accomplish skateboarding. That was more of my bigger aspiration, was to be a pro skater, be like Andrew Reynolds and Eric Ellington, Tony Hawk, growing up. But yeah, it was crazy. I could possibly have not been sitting here right now if it was like 1 second sooner or later. I kind of went right under this car and literally was sitting under it. The lady thought she ran over a cat. We were just, kids. It's like 1995. Kids play out in the front yard, and here I am rolling down the skateboard. I think I was like on my knee doing something stupid, and Dad pulls me out. Everyone's screaming, and Dad pulls me out. I have all this grease and oil all over me, and crazy moment. But yep, I still kept skateboarding and still loved it, but I'm glad I took golf over instead.
You should find this woman and be like, thank you. You changed my life. Yeah.
Life. You showed me that I should stop skateboarding.
Yeah.
And take
by running over me with your car.
So you went underneath the car, like fully underneath.
I remember pushing my feet, like trying to like somehow lift it off me. I mean, I could do that, but like I'm just like, and I'm glad I didn't try to barrel roll or whatever, G.I. Joe crawl out of it. But it was intense.
I think that's the only thing that can prepare you for Oakmont is getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many guys have almost been run over by a car skateboarding and taken on Oakmont.
No, yeah, literally, not almost. You were in fact fully run over by a car. Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, we got to find this woman. I would love to think like it'd be so awesome if this woman was watching the U.S. Open on Sunday. Is like, I hit that kid with a car.
I did that.
I fucking ran over that kid with a car.
Yeah, totally.
How much credit do you give the read on 18? It was one of those moments like at the U.S. Open, you have to play great golf. You need a little bit of luck. You were lucky enough to have a great read on your putt. Did the read actually change after you saw it was Hovland, right?
Right, it was Victor.
Did that change how you were approaching that putt?
No. The only thing that I was trying to get feedback from it was like the pace. 65 feet, I believe, around 64, 65 feet. I didn't have a putt that long all day. And it just been raining for, obviously the delay. And then it started raining again on us our last 2 holes. And so the greens are slower. And, honestly, it was a great break to have to see how hard I had to hit the putt. And you can hear in the sound of the click how hard he hit it. You kind of saw, the pace it took to get up. But also, once it got up on top of that ridge, it's kind of straight, like gently downhill as well. So for him to also hit a great putt, to hit it 6 feet by, was huge too. Because if he hit a shitty putt, like that teaches me absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. And I was just focusing on putting a good stroke on it. Luckily, my lab putter, I can literally hit it anywhere on the face, and the distance control is great. So it was one of those comfort zones where I'd been putting great. Lag putting was great all week long, and it's funny, we have a little practice round game with me and some of the boys I play with and my caddy where we do $100 makes during practice rounds. We just go to a crazy spot on the green on a practice round and just hit like 50, 60 footers. Everyone owes you $100. Uh-huh. So literally the last thing I did before I stepped into that routine was like $100 make.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now caddy owes me $100.
This is a dumb question, but like if Victor Hovland, if he was like, hey, I'm still in this tournament, I know he was a few back, could he have theoretically chipped that ball and not given you a read? Like, would that have been a really bad, like, unspoken rule for him to do that? But, like, it would have been incredible gamesmanship. He's like, I'm not giving this guy a read.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a dick move. But, I mean, this happened to Phil when Phil won his first major. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that. Chris DeMarco was in the front bunker and kind of, hits his bunker shot 2 inches behind Phil's ball, maybe. I don't know exactly, but it was on the same line. And so he putted first, and Phil had that putt to win. Mm-hmm. Not to, like he didn't need it to, but he had to make it. And even, I think he kind of tapped him on the butt too, after the bunker shot was kind of like, thanks, because he knew what was coming, and and that's just the things that need to happen, in major championships and just to win tournaments, things got to go your way. And, unfortunately I was on the receiving end of it.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Phil stepping in like real fast after he hit that putt, like getting right behind him. Does that go through your head? Like I need to keep a respectful distance until he hits the putt and then I'm charging in?
Yeah, I was probably 15 feet kind of to his, his right. It's kind of, he knows I'm there, but I'm not in his view. You don't want to be behind him because he can be like, is this guy literally like 2 feet behind me? So, I stood to the front of him to the right. So he knew I was here, but I wasn't like, sneaking up on him. But I rushed in there. But like I said, like I saw where he rode it up the ridge, but I was mostly looking at the speed because we kind of knew where we had to play the putt as far as the line goes, but the speed was the most important part.
I think I'm going to start petitioning for golfers to start chipping on the green just to fuck other golfers over. I think I need that to happen. Like, well, it would have been an all-time moment if Ava was just like, no, dude, I'm not giving you this read. Yeah. Like if his best friend was second place, if he was best friends with McIntyre or something, it was like, it's like almost like NASCAR driving. Like, I'm going to box you in here.
Exactly. Yeah, you could have. I mean, Might lose some friends, but I mean, we're not. At the end of the day, we're not all friends. We're here to kick each other's asses.
Yeah. So you talked about your new putter. Has it ever occurred to you maybe you should try the broomstick putter?
Did you not see what I did Sunday?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
Good point.
But before that, our golf expert just recently transitioned to a broomstick putter, and it's quite a look for a young man to be using a broomstick putter.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I started the year, I got this lab putter back during the off season. My putting has always been a very, hot and cold sort of statistic for me. I'd been using a traditional blade style putter where it's a lot of feel is involved, which I like. I like feel, but I was just thinking, how can I get better? And I was talking to Adam Scott last year at Colonial, and he's a lab golf ambassador, and he's played great since switching to the lab putter, and kind of talked me into it. You got to get comfortable with the look first and foremost. It's different because it's got zero torque, and there's a lot of science behind the design. But I worked with it all off season, and put it in play at Sony, and I was leading Sony going into Sunday. Ended up finishing third, but that was kind of the missing link to kind of putting more consistently, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I took from it was how the technology in the putter in the DF3, that you can kind of hit it anywhere on the face because of the way it's designed. Like it keeps the same speed up. So and like speed is king when you're trying to like make putts. If you don't have the right speed, you're not gonna hit the line that you're trying to, and it's gonna miss. So how nice is it to have a putter where you feel like every time you stroke it, no matter where you hit on the face, it's going to have the same speed that you're trying to make the putt with. So I think it's helped me become a more consistent putter as of late. And, it was a good putt on Sunday as well. So
great putt.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah.
All right. I know you got to run in a second. So a couple last questions. The story about the diabetes, like you got diagnosed with diabetes 2, and then you keep losing weight, and then you're like, oh no, whoops, we screwed up. You have diabetes 1. When you finally found that out, did you feel like so much better, being like, oh my gosh, I can actually manage this now? And then was it kind of the same timeline as you going back down to the Corn Ferry and then back up? Because it felt, I would assume there was a moment where you're like, am I just done? Am I cooked here?
Yep. Yeah. So, this was 2018. That was my second year on tour. It was during the playoffs in August. And, I've been a chubbier kid growing up. I was never thin. I was never worried about, keeping weight on. It was always keeping weight off. And, in August at the end of 2018, I was noticing I went down to the last notch on my belt, and as far as tightening wise, and I said, that's weird. Like, I've never had that issue. I always have to add a hole or two to fit into it. But my wife, who was then my girlfriend, she's like, you need to just go to the doctor. And it was weird because everyone's like, dude, you look good, man. You've been working out and stuff. And I'm like, no, I've been drinking beer and just eating whatever, but thanks, So I didn't step on a scale until, the end of the year when I got back home. And I literally, the last time I weighed myself, I was probably 215, and I weighed 185 without even trying, which, the 215 was probably, at the start of the season, the first third. So I ended up going to just a general physician, and they did my labs, like, oh yeah, you have diabetes, your sugar's through the roof, and, take some metformin and diet and exercise. And I'm like, okay, I can diet better, but I mean, I exercise quite a bit. And so I did that for 3 years, and then I just kept losing weight because that's one of the symptoms. If you don't produce any insulin, well, you have it's like a key to your cells where your food kind of goes into your body and produces energy. And so basically you're in ketosis, where your body's just eating the fat and muscle and stuff to kind of stay alive. So I did that for 3 years, and I weighed to I went down to 165 pounds.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and this was 2021, in February. And my friend's a doctor. He said, go to an endocrinologist. I had no idea. He's like, you need to do more extensive testing. And they did this beta cell, pancreas test where it detects how much insulin you have. And basically they've determined I make zero insulin, and, I have to be on insulin therapy. And that completely changed my life.
Yeah. And then you come back up, and it was just you're back to, you got the PGA card back.
Yeah, and then it transformed my game back to where it needed to be, and I think the physical and mental part, overcoming that, getting comfortable again, led me to where I'm at today.
That's awesome.
U.S. Open champion.
U.S. Open champion.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, last question, Roback question. RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase. Q-zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com, promo code TAKE. My last question is, there's a story of you going to like a local muni to practice because you wanted to kind of like get back to your roots. I'm going to be cynical. I think you were doing that because you could basically look at everyone and be like, at least I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to feel confident about myself. And I was like, okay, these guys are out here as long as I am, and I can do better than that. So it boosted my confidence a lot there.
Yes, that's smart, because everyone's like, oh, man, he's a man of the people. I'm like, I feel like he might be doing this because, like, he can at least give himself some frame of reference of, like, hey, I'm not so bad. I'm, like, one of the best golfers in the world.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it, boys. That was a blast.
Yeah. All right, thanks so much, man. Best of luck rest of the season.
Thanks, dudes.
JJ Spaun was brought to you by Oura Ring. Here's a easy question. How are you feeling today? Now a harder question. Why? If you had an Oura Ring on your finger, it wouldn't be such a mystery. Oura gives you personalized updates about your sleep, stress, activity, heart health, recovery, and more, all from a sleek, smart ring. You'll get incredible data about your body, including long-term trends and feedback on the stats that matter for living a long, healthy life. It's where everywhere I look, I see more and more people wearing one, and since Oura Ring looks like a normal ring, you're getting all the benefits of health tracking without looking like you're wearing a gadget. It's accurate, comfortable, and durable, and with up to 8 days of battery life, you can forget you're even wearing it. Can we get some Oura Rings for the boys?
Yeah.
I would rock an Oura Ring. I'm balls deep in training right now. I need a ring. Need to monitor my stats.
I really want an Oura Ring. I've been wanting to get one.
I need one, and 8 days of battery life is a game changer. Or 8 days is incredible.
Huge.
It's massive. As somebody who forgets to plug things in sometimes, 8 days of battery life is huge. Oura is going to help you track your stats, figure out why you're feeling the way that you are. Getting old has never looked so good. Now give Oura the finger. Learn more at ouraring.com/PMT. That's OURARING.com/PMT. JJ was also brought to you by Truly Hard Seltzer and Truly Unruly Lemonade. Truly Unruly Lemonade combines the high alc fun of Truly Unruly with everyone's favorite, lemonade. It's lemonade let loose, 8% ABV, 100% delicious. I'm a bumpin' Blue Raz guy myself. They've got 4 supercharged flavors. They got the Blue Raz, the OG original lemonade, the punched up pineapple, and the wild pink. Unruly Lemonade is great for the summertime. I drank one while I was mowing the lawn last weekend. Great lawn mowing beverage. You get the lemonade, but you also get 8% ABV. It's 100% delicious. Going to be working on my golf swing outside a lot. Guess what I'm going to have as my caddy? That's right, a Truly Unruly Lemonade. It's the official hard seltzer of Part of My Take. Level up your lemonade with Truly Unruly. Check it out today. And now, here's our great friend, Greg Kittle.
Okay, we welcome on a very, 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 very special guest, one of our good friends who just signed a new deal, which we have to congratulate him for. It is George Kittle, TEU coming up June 23rd to 25th. We're getting tight ends paid, and George, you are the tip of the spear. You got paid big-time money. Congratulations. Congratulations. We're very happy for you.
Are you setting the market?
Yeah, are you? Are you setting the market?
Setting the market. Hopefully it's something that Sam Laporta will cross next year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta, and then you got Brock in a couple of years. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that need to get paid. I'm excited about that. So hopefully the next guy's getting over 20 million. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, what was it like though when you how much guaranteed money did you have?
40.
That's pretty sweet.
Did that all go in at one point, at one time?
No. That's over the course of like 2.5 years.
Oh, well, they don't give you all your guaranteed money right away? What was your signing bonus?
It basically I get this year, and everything kind of hits. I get a nice chunk that hits in September because the way that like the money has been flowing and how we're still paying people. I get a big chunk of my money in September.
Okay,
that's great. And
that's gonna be awesome.
And you can tell all the tight ends at TEU, like, I had to do this deal for you guys. It wasn't for me. It was so that you guys can get paid.
Right.
It's for the boys.
Yes.
That's all it is. I just want to also say I'm so excited to be back on the show with you boys. Oh my God. Just a couple of beauties.
Yeah, we missed you. We're going to see you in Tahoe as well, which I'm very excited about. I mean, we'll do a cross promo. Like you're golfing in the tournament. What do you expect out of yourself to be golfing in the tournament? You can't finish last. I don't want you to finish last.
No, I mean, hey, I shot, I'm a low 90s golfer. I break 90 every once in a while. So I shot back-to-back rounds at 92s the last 2 days. So, if I can just pull out one of those, I'll be so happy. And if I don't, my driver doesn't hit somebody in the face.
I've started sensing this recently, like talking to different athletes. It's such bullshit the way they talk about their golf game, where if you ask an athlete, like, how are you at golf? They're like, oh, I suck. I shoot in 80s, low 90s,
Dude,
and I only play like a few times a year. It's like, that's bullshit, man. I only
that's
play
really good.
Yeah, that's really good for only a few times a year. You guys, turns out athletes are really good at playing sports.
Yeah, it's crazy that if, you're a professional in something, you actually could be, decent at other sports. That is a wild concept, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the hand-eye coordination, it turns out that transfers for you guys.
It blows my mind every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, George. I want to thank you for making an important stance online the other day, because some people, including, I'm not going to name names, but there's some people maybe behind the glass that root for the Philadelphia Eagles. No, I think, you're right. Hank was kind of a dick about it, but I'm mostly looking at I'm looking at Max, my new wide receiver, your former teammate, Deebo Samuel, went a little bit viral. I was trying to explain to these guys that it's called a group install, and you jog through, and he's not trying to break any land speed records when he's running. You hopped online and tried to clear things up, but maybe you could educate America on how actually not fat Deebo Samuel is.
I'm just going to say this. Deebo Samuel plays football. He doesn't play spring ball, no pads football.
Yep.
And if you look at his career highlights, when he has shoulder pads on, that's how he plays the game, which is the way it is structured for us to play the game. So I will say media for the NFL from post-draft until the season starts, everyone's just looking for something to talk about because there's nothing to talk about. And so it's pretty brutal. And Deebo just catches flack because, hey, he didn't have this season that, his best season of his career last year, and people gave him flack for that. Debo's still Deebo. He's going to go out there. He's going to truck stick people. He's going to make some insane plays that no one else can make. He's going to catch a screen pass, break 4 tackles, and go 60 yards to the house. So Debo's going to Deebo. That's just what it is. And so these people that are just talking shit about him, they can all, F right off.
Yep,
okay, so good answer. I noticed in that answer, though, Max, did you notice something? Did you notice there was one thing that was missing in that answer, Max?
What? Max, what was it?
I didn't. This is you saying this.
Well, okay, I'll say it.
Yeah.
I noticed
in
that answer, you just did not address the fat Debo part. You
What
just
do you mean
didn't say anything about fat Debo.
It's power.
You said everything else, which all was good, and I agree. Debo's the man.
We're also pro-fat.
We are pro-fat. We're pro-fat on this show.
Debo's got big bones, fellas.
Okay.
He's got big bones. That's all it is. And it's like, when, he might have hibernated, in the offseason, but he'll be ready to go for training camp. I promise you that much.
Okay, we are a pro-fat podcast, so
and
that
also,
is true.
I like to imagine that when Max says it, he's spelling a PH. Fat with a PH.
Yeah.
Fat Debo. And listen, you got to have some junk in the trunk if you're going to play football, right? That's what Belichick, Kirby Smart, they look at guys' asses. They're like, I want a guy that's got a motor.
That's facts.
Is your ass for motor? That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's facts.
He is one of my favorite players to watch play football when he has the ball in his hand, and I'm just excited that I get to root for him. But yeah, you were kind of a part of that this offseason too. Just a lot of news. People want to read about you. Is that strange, having the world know that you're going into contract negotiations and speculate on how much money you're going to get paid?
Oh, dude, when I was at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, I'm doing the media circuit, and I just get asked about my contract. I'm like, I don't know if we've even had any discussions yet, but sure, we can talk about something that has nothing to do with you guys. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
It is weird. But it's like, then I get asked about Brock Purdy's contract. I'm like, I don't fucking know shit about his contract. Don't ask me. I'm just his teammate that watches him play. He should get paid, but I don't know any details. Why are you asking me?
Yeah, that's got to be the more awkward one, the Brock Purdy, where it's like, because I assume there's an unspoken rule in the locker room where it's like, hey, no one talk about someone else's money here. George's got to get paid, Brock's got to get paid. To be the guy to stand up and be like, and not and like get involved in any way is just a bad move in a locker room.
It's just weird. Like, I know I learned early on in my career. It's like, don't talk for other people. Let them say what they want to say. Like you can always give it, hey, Brock works really hard. He's a great teammate. He deserves a contract. But like the nickel and diamond stuff like that, nah, it's just bad ball. Just don't talk about it because you're going to put your foot in your mouth at some point.
Yeah. Last season.
Yes.
Season from hell for the 49ers in terms of you guys obviously have been really good, really competitive for basically your entire time there. But last season it felt like not the end of something, but it was just everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for the 49ers. And you could just feel that. Is it like, hey, we can just – it's almost better like we can flush the entire season? And was there a moment during the season where you're like, fuck, man, we can't catch a single break?
I would say early on in the season, we lost back-to-back divisional games. And I was like, we're going to have to really figure something out here, like to be able to even go on a run. And then we had that diabolical run of like at Green Bay, at Buffalo, and just got our shit pushed in. And it was like, yep, that's going to be a tough one. Like if you give up 150 yards rushing and then you are like 10% on third downs, that's just kind of hard to win a football game. So I will say the one benefit to like not making the playoffs is that was my first January off since 2020. And so I took it, and I think the team took it as a big refresher. And I will say that like when everybody came back to OTAs and like everybody was in attendance for the first time since 2019, everybody was really fired up to play football. So it kind of like gets that hunger going a little bit earlier. So it was kind of fun for that, but missing the playoffs absolutely sucks. But if you got to find some positive out of it, I did get an extra month just to kind of recover, and now my body feels fantastic.
Yeah, that's got to be great. You guys ever make the NFC Championship game, or you don't make the playoffs? That's kind of the only thing that you do.
What is that statistic? That makes no sense.
It's crazy.
I don't know. Once you guys get in, you're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us, like, what is it about you guys? You get in the playoffs, you're confident?
It's a confidence thing. And then, I mean, I look back like the 2021 season when we snuck in as a 7th seed. We had to win like our last 3 games. And then we somehow went into Lambeau and beat the 1 seed. I would just say that like what we've pride ourselves on is being very violent and very gritty. And then we let our superstars be flashy. And when you add a guy like McCaffrey, he can be all flashy and be super pretty and stuff, but he's still a gritty ass dude. So it's kind of fun to just kind of be that team that people don't want to face in the playoffs. And yeah, like you said, whenever we get in there, we do a pretty good job of winning the first couple.
Yeah. You were saying earlier that Hank is a dick. Some people would agree with this. So specifically with Hank, I don't know if you listened to part of my take during the season, probably not advisable for you to do that.
I always listen to Mondays, always, no matter what.
Did you hear any of the news that? Well, I can't say it was Hank that was putting it out.
Hank. It was not Hank.
It was the Walls at Barstool Sports. They were talking about Christian McCaffrey not coming back to play football, retiring last year.
Yeah,
Did you hear any of that? Anything from the Walls inside your program?
I heard it from Hank was actually just sending me DMs about how I should tell McCaffrey to retire. He was just, I don't know. Did you have like money on him retiring or something, Hank? Is that what this is?
No, he just heard.
I never reported that either.
The Walls reported it, and it was one of those ones where Hank just got. It was almost. I'm going to defend Hank.
Yes,
I'm going to defend Hank for a second. Here's how I'm going to defend Hank.
No, thank you.
Here's how I'm going to defend Hank. Hank happened to be in a conversation where he heard it, where if PFT and I were in that conversation, we would have done the same Walls reporting that Hank did. He just wrong time, wrong place to be in the Christian McCaffrey might think about retiring conversation.
I also said it in a way where I was like, this is actually 100% off the record. We can't talk about it. And then, because I was like, there's no way it's true. This is a complete bullshit rumor that I heard. Like, it's not valid enough to say. Yeah. And then
dig yourself out of the hole. I like it.
Yeah.
And then I just got thrown under the bus per usual. That's all right.
Yeah. So Hank,
I'm sorry.
So that never was, were you ever like, hey, I'm kind of tuned into the NFL media, and this one podcast is saying you might retire, Christian. Is that true?
I brought it up to him almost daily, just for fun, just to piss him off. Oh yeah, let's light a fire under Christian's ass. He doesn't really need it, but the more motivation he gets, the scarier he is. So
I believe
he's gonna have a fun year this year. If you're a fantasy coach, I would draft him.
Okay, but there's a lot of people who are They got really badly burned last year.
They did.
Did he feel? Could you sense any remorse from like him, where he's like, I really obviously I missed a lot for my teammates and for the team and the franchise, but really, what's sad about this injury is everyone who drafted me number 1 overall.
Yeah, no, I think that's all he thought about the whole year. I think he sent individual messages to each person who drafted him 1 overall and apologized. I think that's what he did.
Class act.
That's
Class
nice.
act.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Can you make a case to Jerry O'Connell that if he does draft Christian McCaffrey for us this year, that you will block extra hard for him?
Yeah, well, the nice thing about when you have Christian McCaffrey at running back, it makes my job way easier because of how he sets up blocks and stuff like that. So when you have a guy like Christian, he actually makes our entire O-line and tight ends better. So, yeah, we're all going to block our asses off for him, and he's going to have another fantastic season.
Yeah. One thing I love about you and I love about the tight ends is what you've done with Tight End University, TEU, where you get together and it feels like you guys are all kind of picking each other up, helping each other out. I don't know if Trey McBride's going to be there this year. But he is. So I was wondering, like, across the league in the fraternity of tight ends last year, when he just couldn't get a touchdown for whatever reason, he was like playing really, really well. He was playing great football.
Amazing.
But he couldn't score for some reason. Were you guys all rooting for Trey to get a touchdown, even though he's in the same division as you? Were you like, come on, man, this is bigger than just the Cardinals against the 49ers. This is about the position of the tight end.
Oh, dude, I remember, I think I hit him up like week 13 or 14. I was like, Trey, just tell Kyler to throw you the ball 4 straight times, first, second, third, and fourth down. Like, you just got to get in there, because once you get one, then it kind of rolls. But Larry, getting that first or second touchdown just takes forever. It was I'm happy for him that he ended the year with a couple. So hopefully he'll start off this year pretty hot, is my guess.
Yeah, I could see that. So tight end you coming up next week. We talked to Greg Olson about it as well. Very excited. Next year, hopefully, we're going to be able to make it. We have a golf tournament this year. What do we got planned for this year? Anything new? Any new wrinkles? Because it is great. And tight ends, I went through the stats with Olson when he came on. You guys are just getting paid way more, and it's what you're doing is working.
Yeah, I mean, I think since 2019, it's jumped up over $10 million. So that's doing pretty good. Whatever we are doing, it is working. You know, tight end has been great, just bringing guys together. You got rookies running routes with Travis Kelce. You got young guys in the same line as Dallas Clark and Rob Gronkowski. So it's that itself is pretty fun. And, you know, if guys just take a couple things from tight end, whether it's like something about a route, something about technique, something about their lifestyle that they learn, and it helps them out a little bit, you know, that's all we really care about. You know, what I would say is just evolving the position, you know, as we play the game together.
Yeah. So is there a class that you guys are doing this year about how to cash in on being a professional wrestler if things are like towards the end of your career, make that transition?
You know what? I think Triple H said he might stop by for a class. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe if not this year, maybe next year I get a WWE guy in there and explain, you know, we'll get a wrestling ring up and just have auditions. We'll have the WWE tryout there.
Yeah.
That would be actually incredible. I think, I would watch that. I would be a part of that, actually.
I do think that tight ends are the most ready-made for the transition into WWE. Is that going to be your career after football?
You know what? Whatever door is open, I'm not saying no to much. Whatever happens, happens. You know, I might need a couple managers like the pallbearer. You guys could definitely do that for me, I bet.
Yeah, say less.
What hey, what point of the offseason are you like, all right, let's go, ready for football? Or is that like, because you're getting, you know, older, you're later in your career. Does that still exist where you're like, hey, at this point, let's call it, you know, late June, maybe July 4th, you're like, all right, July 4th's over, let's go. I want to play some football.
I would say that like the itch or the anxiety of like trying, you know, wanting to be in shape and ready, that usually hits me in like, I would say end of March, early April. And then it just gets worse and worse as the rest of the summer goes on. You can ask my wife. She's like, you need to take a deep breath. I'm like, I don't want to take a deep breath. I just want to work out and do cardio and catch a lot of footballs. But it just keeps escalating until July is like, I feel like you could ask any NFL football player. I would say a majority of them would say that, like, not like a crippling anxiety, but like thinking about it every single day. That's about all you can do for the entire month of July. That's very real.
Yeah,
it's very real.
The people say it's basically like the 2 weeks before camp feels like the night before first day of school, where you're just sitting there like, oh shit, like we got first day of school coming up. Damn it. And like, all right, here we go.
Yep, that's really it. It's just like, did I train enough? Did I catch enough footballs? Did I work out enough? Have I studied enough? Am I ready to go? And then when you get back to training camp, training camp's training camp. It's incredibly hard, but once you get back into it, then you find your rhythm again pretty quickly.
Do you love the first day when you get the pads on? Because you are a violent guy. You like to be violent. Is that like a relief? Like, hey, we're actually now playing football.
Dude, I hate OTAs because it's not football. Like I can't stand it because then like I'll get like coached on the run game and I'm like, I'm run blocking without shoulder pads on. That is how you play the game. I'm not going to change up. Like I'm not going to change my technique to be able to block without pads on. When pads come on, then I'm blocking and that's how I know how to do it. So yes, I love the first day of pads. And then the only time I ever like practicing without shoulder pads is like in the season when you're kind of just, jog through plays and just kind of learning. But when it comes to competing, yeah, give me the shoulder pads and let me be at my best because I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah. Otherwise you're jogging through plays. You're doing group install.
Just a lot of group install, baby. No, it's just not the same, man. And, guys like to take film from that and, critique it. Mm-hmm. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be one of those guys, Max.
That's right. Have you hit anybody this offseason?
Have I hit anybody this offseason?
Yeah,
I get to do some run blocking stuff with Trent Williams. He was at our mini camp stuff. So we got a pad in front of us. We got to, run off and hit that. But no, I have not got to hit anybody very hard yet. So that'll be coming. I can't wait.
Yeah, I imagine that you probably missed that. I would miss that.
Violence is coming.
Yeah, violence. I like that. That's a great tagline for the 2025 Niners season. Violence is coming.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'm really excited about it. God, I just like looking at your guys' faces. You're just so adorable.
Hey, what did has Brock Purdy bought anything awesome with the money? Because he's like you obviously had gotten paid a little bit. He literally went from getting nothing in relative terms to a starting quarterback to getting paid a lot of money. Do you think he bought anything special or did anything like a new tractor or something?
The tractor thing, I don't think he has to buy those. I think he gets those for free.
Okay.
I would say, he said he wanted to buy like a big fishing boat, which that's what he likes to do in his spare time is like to fish and be out on the water. He did purchase in Nashville, Tennessee, a house. So he'll be kind of a neighbor to me at some point, which would be pretty fun because I actually have a quarterback that can throw to me all the time. That's actually on my team. So I'm excited about that. So I think that counts as a big purchase, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, buying a house. Have you made any upgrades to the barn?
Dude, the barn is continually growing and getting bigger. So no like structural, but a lot of new jerseys, equipment, cleaned it out. It's a full NFL facility now, boys. It's a good time.
Yeah, that's incredible. The football field that you have behind your barn is everything that I wanted as like an 8-year-old growing up. You live in like an 8-year-old paradise, which is
I really
incredible.
do. Oh, dude, it's so much fun. I literally have one side of my barn. I have we eat breakfast. Then you go to the gym, you work out. You go to the field, you run routes, you do your sprint training, and then you come back in and we have an N64 hooked up. We play Super Smash Bros. and Mario Kart.
That's the absolute. But you got to. I think next step is get a tattoo chair in there.
You know what? I have been tattooed in the barn before, so that's how I got. What is it? One of my hand tats was in the barn. So yeah, we got everything in there. I even have a barber that shows up to the barn.
That's awesome. Do you have any new ink for this season?
I did just get. I got Sauron from Lord of the Rings done a couple months ago, which I was pretty excited about.
Shit,
that's pretty cool.
How long did that one take?
I think we did like a 7-hour session one day, and then we did like a 3-hour session the next day.
Were you sedated for it, or were you awake?
No, I was very awake. My tattoo artist, I have one in Indianapolis, and he has a very good technique. His name's Cody, and he has a very good technique where like, honestly, like it was the least painful tattoo I've ever had in my life. I was just kind of sitting there. And the thing is too, like I'm sitting there not streaming, but like I'm playing Pokemon on my laptop because I play like a randomizer. It's called Kaizo Ironman Pokemon. I'm a nerd. I know, I'm sorry. But I'm playing that for like 8 hours as I get tattooed. So it's pretty easy.
What is the game?
Pokemon. It's so it's like you're playing like the original Pokemon game.
Okay.
Except like they made a ROM hack for it, and it has the first 3 generations of all the Pokemon, all in like fire red. And then it's all randomized. So like if you go to Professor Oak and you'll go to the 3 Pokeballs, it could be like a Dragonite, a Rattata, and a Charmander. And then the game will tell you which one you have to pick, and you have to take that Pokemon and you have to beat the entire game with just that one Pokemon. And if you die, you have to restart the entire game.
Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
You know what? very mildly like 4 or 5 years ago, but like I have not gotten into it.
We got to get you into D&D.
Play a game with us.
I feel like you would enjoy it.
Yeah,
I would definitely enjoy it. I mean, if it's anything like Stranger Things, I'll have a great time.
Yeah.
Without the underworld place that looks the Upside Down, that looks scary.
Are you still watching Stranger Things? I'm sorry, they just took too long. It took too long.
Whenever the newest season comes out, I will watch it because I think it's very fun to watch.
Yeah,
I like it.
I loved the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then
first three were incredible. Then it just took a while for the next 2 to come out.
And then the kids got old. And I was like, this is kind of different, and I don't know.
It's a different vibe. It's a very different vibe.
Yeah.
Anytime that it goes from like just kids being friends to then you have to add in like a romantic thing, it's a little bit different. But I still like the show, and I'm excited to see what they do with it. I mean, I thought last season was really fun. I mean, what's the guy's bad guys, Vega or whatever, that guy was. He was scary.
All right, I got to get back into it. All right.
What are we talking about? Tight End U.
Yeah, Tight End U. Before we let you go, though, I want to do.
Let me go. Let me be here all day, please.
Sphere review. You were at the same show as me. I missed you by like 2 seconds. It was crazy. Literally. I look down. I see you. I think you were with Juszczyk and Christian McCaffrey. You were having the time of your life, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna go say hi to my best bud. George, and then I get down there and you had went up to your suite, so I missed you. But was it everything you thought? Like it's the coolest thing, right?
I mean, Grateful Dead at the Sphere is one of the coolest things I've ever done because I went back the following weekend as well to another show.
Yes,
and I brought my wife that time too. It was an incredible experience. Like they just know how to throw a concert, and the Sphere is just. I went to Kenny Chesney 2 weeks ago at the Sphere too. Incredible. It's just there's nothing like it. Like you can't compare it to any concert because it's just a completely different vibe.
Yeah, it was awesome. Did you end up going to Diplo after?
I did go to Diplo, yeah.
Yeah, that was the test of my friendship with you, and it was just so you know, like I actually thought about it for a second, which is crazy because you texted me, you're like, "Hey, we're going to Diplo after the Sphere. Do you want to come?" And I was like, I was already in bed. And I was like, I love you so much, and I want to hang out with you, but I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, it's a beast. I know, and I'm not really up for. I like day drinking and then going to bed at a good time. So then the next day I can do it again. I don't really like staying up till 3 a.m. That's terrible. But I love EDM music as well. And so any chance I have to see Marshmello or Diplo, I'm like, and then like Chainsmokers, like I'll go see that any day of the week. Like I'll go listen to those guys.
Yeah,
I like live music, man.
You're built different too. I would imagine that would be the one positive of getting that anxiety you talked about, getting into shape. Once you're into that peak shape, you could probably hang and party longer because you're just a beast.
I can drink a few beers this offseason. I have upped that counter on my resume. I've done that. I've deleted. Thank God, Bud Light is a good sponsor.
There we go.
And yeah, we have Bud Light. And then I need to rehydrate after a long night.
Love that.
With some Gatorade water, and then you know what? 2 a.m. I can just use some Old Spice, smell really good, and maybe even use some Dude Wipes. Like, why would I not do that?
Dude Wipes is huge for the morning after. Yeah. Yes,
it's huge. You know, you need that. You know, and maybe just maybe if it's a little groggy in the morning, my eyes hurt. I'll just throw on a nice New Era baseball cap, and I'll just protect my eyes and my face from the sunny rays.
That's great. And then if it's like sunny outside and you go outdoors, you don't want to wear pants, right?
No, so I might as well get some shorts from Chubby's so I can tan these nice long legs.
That's
that
great.
my wife loves.
But wait, did you not eat anything in this entire recoup?
Oh, you know what? Good thing is what's great after a long night is a good sandwich from Jersey Mike's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fantastic. Anything you want.
Yeah. If you're logging online to order your Jersey Mike's, how can you get the internet in remote locations like your barn?
That I use Starlink.
Oh, not Google Fiber. Okay.
Is Google Fiber not a sponsor?
I think Google is a sponsor. It's not on the list I have written down in front of me right now. So my marketing team's probably like, no, just say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Did we hit all of them, or is there any left?
Kinder, which is like a barbecue steak thing, and they're providing great food for the boys.
Okay.
Let me see if there's anything else off the top of my head. I don't know. The only other thing I really have to do on the show is I was in Wisconsin a couple of weeks ago with one of my buddies. He owns a lake house at it's in Wapaka. Yeah, Wapaka. And it's a sick lake house. And we're at a restaurant, and this probably like 18-year-old is like, dude, Greg, I can't wait to see you on Part of My Take again. I'm like, hey, well enough. I'm in like 8 days. He was like, will you say hi to me? I'm like, sure, Jack from Wapaka. I'll say hi to you on Pardon My Take.
Hey,
And that's
Jack.
about all else I had for you.
Yeah, you nailed that.
That was a great,
That
yeah,
made that kid's
great
life.
sponsor. So wait, one of
That's
your
awesome.
one of your sponsors called Tinder?
Kinder.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Tinder.
Kinder.
That'd be a different sponsor entirely.
It's going down. I'm
Kinder's
yelling
cookbook.
timber.
All right. Well, I got one left.
Move.
So everyone, tight end you again is coming out. They're doing June 23rd to 25th. It's going to be awesome. Last question for you, Roback. RHOBACK.com, promo code TAKE, 20% off your first purchase, Q-Zips, polos, hoodies, joggers, shorts. Roback.com, 20% off, promo code TAKE. Give me a prediction for the 49ers in 2025.
Prediction. This is how I see it. We had a ton of guys leave. We have a lot of turnover. We lost all pro players. We lost Pro Bowl players. Debo, Aaron Banks went to our left guard, went to the Packers. Charvarius Ward, one of my favorite teammates, locker buddy. He went to the Colts. Hargrave went to the Vikings. Hafunga and Dre Greenlaw go to the Broncos. So yeah, we're very aware that we lost some players, but from the way that we did free agency, I like the guys that we brought in for that. We just traded for Bryce Huff from the Eagles. He is a very fast, athletic defensive end. And then the way that we drafted, we have a very good chance to be a good team. We need the young guys to mature really fast and step up, because if they don't and they get hit with that rookie wall at some point, it can be tough at some points. But I feel like we brought most of our offense back, and we should be able to score points, because we basically went an entire season without Christian McCaffrey, offensive MVP 2 years ago. And so now that he's back, pair him with myself, Kyle Juszczyk, Juwan Jennings, Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall. Trent Williams is still pretty good too, I heard. I don't know, but he's still pretty good. So I think we're going to win some football games, and it's going to be pretty fun.
Okay.
Violence is coming.
I'm buying the 49ers as a bounce back team.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
Especially too, like when you get that extra month off, it definitely makes you want to not ever experience that again. And you would much rather be late into the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be looking for it.
All right, George, you're the best. We'll see you in a couple weeks in Tahoe.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally going to tackle you both. I cannot wait.
I'm not looking forward to
No,
that,
that
but I
sucks.
would like
Because
to see you.
no, you asked me. You're like, hey, have you hit anybody? I'm going to hit you guys.
I'll be ready.
This is a great
Max,
idea.
you better stop him, Max.
I'll be ready.
You better stop him.
Is Hank coming?
Hank will be there.
Oh, Hank, you're so fucked.
It's basically like
boy.
who's going to get hit first, because the other two can run away. So
No, I think I'm just going to chest bump Max.
Okay.
So I'm going to chest bump him and then maybe tabletop him later that night.
Okay, perfect.
That sounds fun.
I love that. Maybe we'll pants him.
Ooh.
Dick out pantsing would be
what's
so
the
funny.
thing when people they grab like the back pocket and just tear the jeans all the way
Yeah,
down?
we can do that.
Oh, yeah. We used to do that.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
want to do that to Hank after I tackle him.
Maybe a wedgie.
Yeah, I'll ask Christian what he wants me to do to you, Hank.
Okay. Yeah.
The walls,
walls.
not.
Yeah.
You're getting out mad at the wrong guy, but
If I can come to the studio at some point, and I'm just gonna punch a hole in the drywall.
Yes.
Say,
That's
Christian.
perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, this one's for Christian.
We would frame it. Hank actually did that one time
Yeah.
with his foot.
He did.
Yeah.
I remember that actually. That was a good clip.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks
I
so
love you
much,
guys.
George. Love you.
Love you, George. Greg Kittle was brought to you by Apple. That's right, Apple. They say it's never too late for a comeback, even if it's a long shot. From the home of Ted Lasso comes Stick, a new Apple original series starring Owen Wilson, PMT recurring guest. He stars as a has-been golf pro and an up-and-coming prodigy that teams up for one last swing at glory. Stick tells the story of Price Cahill, a former legend with no career, no prospects, and nothing left to lose, until he meets a hot-headed 17-year-old golf phenom named Santi, who's all talent but no discipline. With nothing left to lose, Price offers his experience, but does Santi want it? Joined by Price's old caddy Mitz and Santi's mom Elena, the unlikely crew set their sights on the U.S. amateurs, and the only thing in their way is themselves. It's a journey filled with a few blow-ups, a few breakthroughs, and a whole lot of mulligans. Don't miss this comedy about life and other hazards, starring Owen Wilson, Peter Dager, Mark Maron, Mariana Trevino, Lily Kay, Judy Greer, and Timothy Oliphant. Now streaming on Apple TV+. Kittle was also brought to you by Part of My Cheesesteak. Part of My Cheesesteak and their new combo, The Big One. The Big One is here. That's right, the new combo. It's called The Big One. You get a choice of an original classic cheesesteak, your choice of brownie bites or donut dippers, and a drink, all for a discounted price. Perfect for your game day meal or late night eats, Part of My Cheesesteak offers a wide variety of cheesesteaks, loaded fries, and popular desserts, all delivered right to your door. Check it out now. PartofMyCheesesteak.com. Order with code PMC20. That's PMC20, and you get 20% off. And now, pardon your take.
Okay, let's wrap up. Pardon your take. Listener submitted. Henry. You got us something?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
For Zach.
Oh.
Mount Rushmore of professional sports playoffs.
Oh.
So you got 4.
Well, no, you go MLS.
Well, no, you got 4 choices. It could be any sport.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go football 1-1.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna go basketball 1-2. I'll go hockey 1-3. I'll go a couple World Cup in there.
Oh, so
Yeah.
no baseball.
That's
Not a
sports
baseball
playoff.
guy.
I would like to go World Cup 4 if that's okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a bad pick.
I think I would have put Stanley Cup above NBA playoffs.
I would have put Stanley Cup 2. Well, this is your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I would have gone NFL, Stanley Cup. I actually might go playoff baseball 3.
It's pretty good.
Playoff baseball is like, because it's the drama of like every at bat.
Mm-hmm.
Does March Madness count?
Oh, March Madness. Yeah. All right. March Madness is my 2. Actually, March Madness is my 1.
March Madness is the best.
March Madness is my 1, then NFL, then Stanley Cup.
Oh, did it say pro?
Did it say pro?
It did say pro.
Oh,
I think.
Got it.
All right,
Professional
good save,
sports.
though. That would have,
Yep.
because that would have been a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because March Madness, if it was pro and college, it would be March Madness number 1, for sure.
Now that downfield laterals have become a thing, thank you, PFT, the NFL should award assists for anyone who successfully laterals a ball that the play ends in a touchdown. This would promote more laterals, and specialists with those skills would become valuable throughout the league.
I like that. It's a good idea. I also think that you should get an additional 5 yards if you catch a pass where you're getting interfered, like an and 1.
I'm going to go opposite on this. I'm going to say no. I don't like that.
Well, it's just a meaningless stat.
Well, and I'm just thinking about it from gambling brain. It's a meaningless thing that I'll throw into a parlay and lose.
Yeah, you definitely will.
Yeah, so I don't need another thing that I can lose on.
Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown plus 150 to throw a lateral assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I can
He
just
does this
see,
every week.
I can just see us sitting here in like late October being like, all right, what do we got for
It'd be
our parlay
better
this
odds than
week?
that. It'd be like 900.
And
Like,
PFT
No,
or-
but you get a couple Dan Campbell games
Yeah.
where he like empties the bag, and then you're like, oh, he's definitely going to have one again.
Oh shit, it goes to 30-1 if we throw in Travis Kelce assist.
Yeah.
And then we just lose.
Yeah.
So no.
I'm pretty sure this person was just incepted from this show because I feel like you said this exact take that each NBA team should get to adjust where their 3-point line is to create home court advantage each season. They can move it to on the left if they have a dominant left-handed dribbler, move it in everywhere if they want to focus on mid-range or create a team of bigs, or move it way back if they have great shooters. Every game would be played differently based on where the 3-point line is. Would be exciting to watch.
I think we said it with Kirk Goldsberry, maybe. But yes, this would be awesome.
Different dimensions, like in baseball.
Yeah. This would be so sick.
It would also be like incredibly unfair, but it would be cool.
Yeah,
They
but
should do
it's
it for the NBA Cup.
Yeah, but you also, like, if you move it, the strategy would be so interesting because you could also, it doesn't have to be just you have good 3-point shooters. Like, what if you have a dominant, like, big moving the 3-point line out, like, 2 feet, so it just gives you a little more space where guys can't recover. Yeah, I would like to watch that. Maybe for a week.
Yeah,
And, Adam Silver, you won't fucking do it.
Do it in the Cup, bitch.
Do it.
NBA
and
Cup, they changed the court anyway.
And they reveal it like right before the game. Like, oh, tonight the Warriors are going with a 34-footer. Steph is the only one shooting them.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Hey, little man, big bellied cat, A-cup honkers, and Italian pervert. I'm sick of people comparing Scotty to Tiger and saying he's on a tear no one has seen before. The PGA is weekend with the amount of players that live, and the only time he plays competition is at majors. Tiger Woods, with everyone scoring terrible at U.S. Open on Sunday, would have posted a score that would have made people sweat to match it. Also, Scotty can't match Tiger's aura as he doesn't have a fuck island and a caddy that throws cameras into the pond. Thoughts?
Okay. There's a lot there. One is you can't say Tiger's aura with the fuck stuff because he won a lot more before the fuck stuff than after. Tiger did have aura, but it was different aura. It was unbeatable aura. It wasn't like he's cool, he fucks chicks. It was he just wins every tournament.
He was doing the fuck stuff, but we didn't know about it. Yeah,
right.
In the moment, that's not why Tiger's aura was what it was.
Correct. 2, I don't think we've said Scotty. Maybe other people have is doing something like we've never seen before. I don't think we've ever said that.
There's stats. There's definitely stats that have been brought up. And people do say that when he wins. It's like
we've brought up.
It's always no one's done this since Tiger.
We brought up the other stat where it's like Scotty would have to do this for 10 years to get to Tiger's numbers.
That's also just our dumb sports brains where if you've seen something incredible, you basically spend the rest of your life being like, man, I want this next thing to be exactly like that incredible thing.
Yeah.
Like almost wishing it, hoping it.
Yeah, because the alternative is we're never going to like golf again because Tiger was so good that he broke golf.
Right. But yeah,
which
Tiger,
I understand that. You're not like I will grant you that there's nobody out there that's playing that you watch them compete and you get that same feeling that you got with Tiger.
Yeah.
Except for Brooks, obviously.
Yeah,
and Max.
Did you guys see Brooks?
But it's like Michael Jordan, like basically, spawned basketball in Europe. Like now European players are really good. Like Tiger spawned all these really good golfers. He didn't have to play against them though, but they are all inspired by him, and so the fields in general are way better.
Yeah.
But that's because of Tiger.
Just putting
kind of the same as MJ, where it's like he didn't have to play against that much European competition.
True,
because they all got inspired from the Olympics.
But just to put it into perspective, I mean, we talked so much about Rory getting the career Grand Slam. Tiger did that in 1 year. He literally did that in 2000 when he won the PGA, U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and then in 2001 won the first tournament in the Masters. And that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
He won 4 straight. So, yeah, there's never going to be another Tiger.
Maybe Charlie.
Definitely Charlie. Let's say definitely Charlie.
Double Tiger.
All right, I am going to pardon this guy's take here because it's just dead wrong.
Oh, no.
Biggest theory right now is the MLB. It's in the MLB. I believe the reason traded Devers in his contract so they can make a play to trade for Paul Skeens and pay him and lock him up early. They have all the young pieces and money now to do so, and the Pirates always trade away aces.
So that's copium.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you have to have copium right now, which is there has to be a reason why we did this stupid thing.
But if you were following this guy's logic, wouldn't you have
Devers
traded
been a piece?
Devers for more like better prospects?
Yeah.
You would have traded Devers not for current starting pitching and relieving pitching. You would have traded Devers for like guys that could end up being awesome and then saying, hey, Pirates, look at all these guys that could end up being awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of the criticism of the Devers trade is that you traded Devers, you didn't really get that much in return for him, at least what other teams have gotten for great sluggers. And you probably also did it because your owner is cheap, and maybe your owner was just upset that he got blown off when he went to meet him.
Mm-hmm. Wait, that was part of the story too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
He didn't answer a text message?
I think John Henry made a trip to have like a face-to-face conversation with him. Like, hey, we need to get on the same page. Let's be a good teammate. And Devers was not having it. But that also might be John Henry leaking stuff to the press because he's afraid of getting teabagged.
I do love like just a story of a owner just getting his feelings hurt.
It happens a lot.
And just saying, I'm making this rash decision because my feelings got hurt.
It happens a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, National Sports Podcast.
Yeah.
Did you see what Dan Quinn said about Debo?
No.
Said I saw him running the other day. I was reminded he's one of the fastest players on the team.
Wow.
Fastest with an S.
Is that Hot Seat Commanders?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, he's the fastest.
One of the fastest.
One of the fastest.
Yeah, one of the fastest.
One of the fastest. And there was an S in what he said.
S that had an S.
Not fattest.
Fast. It was fast.
Fastest.
He's fast Debo.
Are you saying fattest or fastest?
I said with it the first time I said it. I said fastest with an S.
Okay.
Fast Debo.
Fast Debo. All right, good show, boys. What? Oh, Memes is ready to go. Hank, we're gonna miss you. But
I'm gonna miss you guys.
We had to do the Pebble Beach.
Part of me wants to just stay, but that's
no.
too
You have
good
to.
of an
We already
offer.
paid for it.
Oh,
Non-refundable. Non-refundable.
Wow.
Man, we should make a little behind-the-scenes video of like, pardon my take, guys. By producer.
Surprises.
Round trip to Pebble Beach.
We take care of our boys.
We do. That's what we fucking do here. Take care of our
best.
boys. No problem, man. No problem. Don't even thank us, honestly. We don't even want thanks. We actually should cut all the part of us giving it away. Because we didn't do it for the accolades.
Yeah.
But if people want to thank us online, at Barstool Big Cat, at PFT Commenter. Okay, numbers.
99.
Oh, he's back.
99
He's
memes.
back being a scumbag.
Pug gave me permission.
Okay.
55.
6.
14.
I see 3. I see 3.
16.
21.
No, I'm literally looking at 3. Hank can see it too.
I'll go 76.
Hank, you got 3, right?
Yeah.
What was your number, Zach?
14.
You're gonna feel bad if this hits 99.
Absolutely not.
Yes, we'll make you feel bad.
Going 14.
Oh.
23. MJ.
Love you guys.
What do you do?